All right, what is up, my peeps? We getting it together, haven't done a stream in a minute, so welcome back, everybody to the stream. We are back here in the United States in Las Vegas. Las Vegas. Sorry, y'all, I'm a little bit pumped up. Haven't done a stream in over a week. Been working extremely hard, and this kept sneaking away from me. But guess what? I'm feeling it. I say, you know what? I'm waking up today on Saturday. You know what? It can't always be all work and no play. So now it's time to have some fun with you guys. Fly a little here domestic route, even though we will still be doing some flights overseas, but I had to get back to the good old US of A. Welcome everybody to the stream. Thanks for the support. Honey, I know you're watching. Kids, I know you're watching. They almost don't get a choice to support, but they do it anyway. And if they're faking it, they are making it, because I believe it. The support is genuine. All right, let me look at this other computer, see what's going on here. Okay. So today, folks, let's go ahead and get this music turned down so we can start figuring out what's going on with our life right now. Again, we are in Las Vegas. It is Saturday, December 9th. It is evening here on the Pacific Coast, but I made it so that we have some nice scenery outside. Listen, the plane is already being initialized. We're flying this Embraer E145XR. This is X-Plane again, and this aircraft is payware aircraft from X-Crafts. I picked it up. One of my fellow simmers, I also watch Chief Sim Pilot, recommended this, so I said, you know what, let me pick it up. Santa Claus was nice this year, not to mention letting me still live. I got an extra aircraft to fly for you guys, so I've done a couple of little test flights in it, but purposely have not done too much with it, so we can fumble through this together and make this exciting. Again, we are in this aircraft. We are flying a livery for American Eagle. The airlines we are flying is Envoy Air, which is actually an airlines that predominantly operates on the East Coast from my knowledge, but today is a little bit of fiction going in. SkyWest flies some of these routes. Actually, SkyWest technically would handle the route that we're doing today, even though it does not make a stop in Fresno. So our first leg is Las Vegas to Fresno, and then we're going Fresno on over to San Francisco. Really short hop. Not going to be a whole lot of time spent in the air. Again, I've taken a shortcut and have the aircraft system initialize a little bit. So let's get a little closer. And another thing is, we're not flying on VATSIM today. I know. Still love VATSIM, but today we are flying on PilotEdge. So we are back to doing all the real procedures, using all our charts for everything, and air traffic control will be continuous the entire flight, which means we may not have as much tunes and jamming on there as possible, so I can pay attention to what they're saying. But while we're getting the aircraft initialized or finishing the initialization process, we will most certainly keep rocking out here a little bit. As you can see here, it's going to get loud. Got the generator, the power ground unit going on, and this aircraft is small enough that you can board from the outside. Of course, here we are on board, and you can see I got the aircraft turned on. Let me just run through what I have done. So far, what I have done is absolutely turn the aircraft on with the batteries here, and got the ground power unit going on. We have our strobe on. We have our nav light on. We also have put our fasten seatbelt and no smoking on, as well as putting our emergency light on. The rest up top is off. We'll continue to develop that. We'll put the logo light on just because we can. Jumping down here at the bottom now, we have initialized our FMS. You can see I've already put the points in here, so we don't have to waste that time, and I've already anticipated landing on runway 29 or right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get the ATIS just to make sure we don't need to change runways. What I'm learning about this CDU or FMS, it's very peculiar how it works. So essentially, this is kind of the X-Plane standard, if you will, FMS. And hi, honey. I see you made a comment. Appreciate your support, of course. thanks for following, and right after this, I will be hungry. So, no, I'm just kidding. Thanks, honey. Our oldest daughter actually hooked us up with some food already, so thank you, baby. Anyway, so these two FMSs, even though they have, this side has the format of your standard X-Plane format, this one has a different format, which I guess is what's supposed to be more or less copying or simulating the Embraer 145XR, but they have to work in conjunction in order for this whole flight to even work. So anyway, there's a little bit of snippet about that. So with that being said, the way we look at this one, here's all the stuff we put in there, and I even have to go in here actually and add in some stuff in here, even though I've already put it in here. Go figure, but it's done. So for example, if you come look at route and route edit, it doesn't even have, the route is not loaded, you know, even though it's loaded over here. So we are going to most certainly put the waypoints in here, which if we go to adding the waypoints, the departure should already be in here. Actually, I'm going to fly this. I'm not even going to put the stuff in here because I already did put in the departure and the arrival information. So essentially, if I wanted to do the first ones, the transition is Kino. So if we go right into an airway, let me see something here, even if it'll let us. Oh, I'm touching the wrong one. Let's see here. And it will, so that means it's already in there. So let's just do this piece real quick. We'll select this, and then of course Kebab is going to be our exit way. We'll take a look at our flight plan here in a minute. And then after that, then it's just direct FRA, which is a VOR. So we have to hit this VOR button. We're going to do Foxtrot Romeo Alpha, which is the Fresno VOR. So let's add that in and we'll save it. Now that should be pretty much squared away. Now what I do like about this GPS here, or this side of it, is that it does list an autopilot feature. So we'll go over the departure here really quick before we get out of here. And also we are going to be able to utilize this radio feature in order to put our comms in and out, which is pretty sweet. So we'll also be using that feature, and we haven't called for clearance yet, so we're getting ready to do that, and we need to listen to the ATIS, so we'll go ahead and do that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and shut this music down, because honestly folks, I got the plane up and running before you guys got on here, as a good captain and first officer does. So when you guys board, you're not waiting for here forever to depart. So let me go ahead and shut this music down. Alright, music is shut down. Now we're back over here, of course. So we can go ahead and put our comms on. First and foremost, let's go ahead and got to come right over here, and we're going to select the comms too.
Las Vegas McCarran International Airport. ATIS information Alpha 0056 Zulu. Wind 340 at 9er. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 25,000. Temperature 13. Dew point -8. Altimeter 3017. Arriving runways 1 left, 1 right, 26 left. Departing runways 1 left, 26 right. Visual approaches in use. VFR departures contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Alpha.
Alright, so Alpha is current.
Airport.
So we'll get rid of that, and now we're going to come over here.
Charlie 8 with uniform. Number 978 Alpha Papa, Burbank Ground. Good evening, runway 8, taxi via Charlie. Runway 8 via Charlie, Skyhawk, Gate Alpha Papa.
Las Vegas clearance, Envoy 318 IFR Fresno.
Envoy 318 Las Vegas clearance. Clear to the Fresno Airport via the Shed 1 departure. Keno transition then on file to climb via SID, squawk 3002.
Clear to Fresno Shed 1 SID with Keno transition, climb via SID, and squawking 3002, Envoy 318.
Envoy 318, readback correct.
Alright, so readback is correct. We can go ahead and turn the trusty comms off right now. Let's come down here now and go ahead, and we want to see the only thing about this, I don't believe we can put our squawk code in. So let's go ahead and come back up top actually and do that, because what I want to do now is put everything in that we need to make sure for our departure, so I don't forget it, because I certainly will. Again, everybody, welcome on board. welcome on board Envoy Airlines 318 with service to San Francisco with one stop in Fresno today is what we're doing. If I haven't been clear about that, I apologize. We will be flying from here to Fresno, California, which is out west, and then a small, short, really quick hop over to San Francisco. All right, 3002 is the squawk. So we'll leave it there for now. Then, of course, we'll come back down here. And one thing that I want to share with you guys is the actual location where we are at. All right, so let's go ahead and remember we are not flying on VATSIM, so we'll be using the real frequencies and the charts, of course, because we are on PilotEdge. So here we are. We're at gate D, I believe it's 43 here, at the very tip of this extension here, or peninsula off of the Delta Concourse. And so what we are going to be doing now, since we have to keep everything in mind, is we have to look at what ground frequency and what tower frequency we can expect to use. I am anticipating leaving runway 26 right, which means essentially we'll taxi Charlie all the way down to where Charlie merges to Bravo, and we'll be base a runway based off the winds. So having said that, we are east of these runways, being that this is the west, this is the east, north, south. So we'll be using a ground frequency of 121.1 and a tower frequency of 119.9. So that's where I'm getting that information from. And then, of course, if we want to look at our departure really quick, just for your reference point, this is our standard departure, the Shed 1. So once we essentially come off a runway 26, we'll be on a heading of 259. Once we get to the Rebel fix here, and then we're going to bust a left. Of course, direct Roper, which we need to be between there, 7,600, between 6,500 to 7,000 feet. And then Mad Dog, we need to be right at 9,000 feet. Tark, we need to be at 11,000 feet. So I'll be doing a lot of this kind of manually to try to make sure I meet these parameters. Because this plane doesn't have vertical navigation, so I have to do it the old-fashioned way. There are really no speed limitations on this departure, and our top altitude here is flight level 190 or 19,000 feet. Here for 26 right, you can most certainly see that our actual written directions are here. Climb heading 259 to 2,682 feet, then direct Arbel. Then on track, course heading 190 to cross Roper between 6,500 and 7,000. Again, that's kind of what I already knew the chart said, which is right there. So essentially this is just regurgitating what I said about the departure. All right, perfect. So you guys kind of know what's going on. Again, I just want to do some good old flying here. Happy to be doing it again here in the good old US of A. So I don't want to belabor that. And then, of course, the last thing that I want to share with you wonderful, wonderful folks is our first flight plan. We have two, obviously, because we are going to be also doing the jump from Fresno to San Francisco. So now what we can see here is our flying time here from in the air is about 1 hour and 2 minutes on over to Fresno. The flight from Fresno to San Francisco is much shorter. It's only 35 minutes, so you can see we're going to be cooking and booking through here. So back over to this one. Disregard this. This is really be ENY 318. At first, I was going to fly for American, but it's Envoy. The other flight plan reflects the Envoy, so disregard that part in the summary of the flight plan. And you can see here again, 102 is the flying time there, 1 hour and 2 minutes. And here's the rest of our parameters. It's a super easy route. Shed 1 departure, which I shared with you that. We're transitioning Kino. We go on to a jetway of Q162, exiting that at Kebab Fix, on over to the VOR of Foxtrot Romeo Alpha, which I said it was the Fresno VR, but I think I misspoke on that. It's the Friant VOR here, as you can see. So it's the Friant VOR, and here's the frequency for that, even though it'll be in the FMS. And then we're direct Fresno, with me anticipating, because I have flown this route several times, way prior to this flight. I'm a California boy, so the only difference is the date, and perhaps the route may have changed up due to AIRAC updates. But other than that, no worries there. Okay, so nothing more here to show. Except here's the PilotEdge online map. This is our aircraft way over here. You can see it's Envoy 318. We are here in Vegas, and we'll be taking a western route overall, weather-wise, the weather does look good, and there's really nothing to report there. But another thing I am going to share with you guys is actually what I do for my weather. So I never shared this, but I know other simmers have, so I just want to show you. This is the actual other application that I use for real live weather. You can see it's connected. You can even go to the map to where we're at, and it gives you some type of conditions and things of that nature. And to make the weather more accurate, we're going to actually type in our flight route today, and that'll help the weather engine system here try to aggregate the most accurate weather as possible. I believe our alternate is Sacramento, and we are flying at a comfortable 28,000 feet, of course. And we'll just do VOR. You can't put in the exact flight route, so we're not doing any NDBs. So the best thing for me to do is VOR to VOR. Should catch the Friant VOR, and the rest kind of in between. So it will somewhat be on course and on track for us. Now again, let me pull up my frequencies here so we can literally get out of here. We'll check the ATIS one more time to make sure it hasn't updated. 121 is what we said the ground frequency is, so we'll go 121. Let's backspace that because that was oops. All right, 121 is switched in, and then we said the tower frequency is estimated to be 119.9er. And then our departure frequency again comes from our chart. And for the Shed 1 departure, the departure frequency is 125.9, so that's where I'm getting that from. So we can do that, decimal niner, 0. And boom, 125.9. Now that is plugged in, so we don't have any worries there. We still have this on our ATIS, which I'm going to check again. And we have our ground frequency, again, double checking 121.1. And then, of course, we have the tower frequency 119.9. If I make any mistakes there, it'll be fixed really quick because they'll let me know really quick that something is awry. Again, here's what we want to do. We want to go ahead and take a look at our flight plan before we get our APU on. So essentially, let's see what this whole thing kind of looks like. In order to do that, so we're going to step through it, but first we have to come over here and put it into the plan mode. So you can see here, there's exactly what we talked about. We'll be direct to 2680, then we go left here, right at Rebel, on over to Roper. So we already knew that that was going to happen. So let's just step through our flight plan really quick and make sure it looks copacetic. Now you can see the map moving, and we're checking for any discontinuities or anything that looks like it doesn't make sense. And there you go. And it's got a little bit of a funny looking entrance there, just because we already have the runway planned and all that good stuff. So what you're also seeing is the missed approach in there. But the way we also verify that, we come here now, we step through this and look and make sure that everything looks good here on the flight plan. Sheed, Keno, there's our transition point. Vixen, Kebab, Friant, Z-Mix, and Sango are actually the points to get us on the final on the runway 29 right. If any of that changes, then we change that accordingly. So now we can jump back up top here and get off of that, because I do like the way that looks. And we have our flight directors on already, of course, and we've already set our actual altitude. Or I'm sorry, we've actually set not the correct altitude, but the altimeter setting of 3017. Now we need to set our altitude, which the top altitude for this departure is 19,000 feet. Now, if they would have gave us any other altitudes, that would have simply meant that we have to adhere to that. All right, so and then of course we'll get our trims and everything fixed up here. So actually we should come over here and get it on perf, so I remember to do that, because we got to also reference our V speeds, and we will be taking off flaps 9. Now what we must do is we need to go ahead and close the cabin door. So let's go over here to ground ops and get the door closed. The passengers are on board. And of course we're going to come up top now. We're going to turn the APU on. Alright, APU's coming to on, and we'll also go ahead and put on our red beacon, because the aircraft is getting ready to come all the way alive. Then the rest of this stuff up top, once the APU is on, we'll pay attention to that. You can see the APU right here is coming alive. We're at 100%. You can see the exhaust gas temperature is also rising. So now let's go figure that piece out. But before I forget, let's put our flying altitude right in here for our cabin pressurization. Going to be flying at a comfortable 28,000 feet. Almost there. Alright, now we have our pressurization all situated. And now we'll come back over here, and APU is on, so now we need to get rid of the ground power. Oh, let's make sure that generator is connected. So the APU generator connects automatically, so we're just going to turn it off. We don't get a beep, so that's a good sign. So now I can come over here, even though these are in the off positions right now, illuminated, in order for the APU to be on, or the bleed to work for the engines to start, this has to be clicked on so that the bleeds will work. Again, if we have any issue with the engine starting, this is the problem. Maybe it already is automatic or on, but that's one thing I struggle, and we'll just leave this to auto because I don't think it needs to be to the open position. Now we can most certainly turn our electric pumps on, and we can also turn our fuel pumps on. And we'll get rid of our ground power. Everything else up top looks good for the moment because we're getting ready to get our pushback. But again, we're going to check the ATIS. Let's get rid of that ground power now. So it'll get a little quieter in here because you won't hear the generator running. And let's go ahead now and check in on the actual ATIS.
Airport. ATIS information Alpha. 0056 Zulu. Wind 340 at Niner.
Alright, we don't need to check it anymore. He's still saying ATIS information Alpha. That's all we need. So at this point, we can go ahead and get our aircraft pushed back. I feel like I'm sitting super close. I'm just looking at my view here. I always get this view where I don't know if I like it or not. But anyway, let's go ahead and do that better pushback now. It's already been pre-planned, so let's just start the pushback.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
Alright.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Alright. I had done it, pre-planned it before, but he won it. Here he comes, miraculously sliding in on here in his sled. I don't think he's even going to be really too concerned about these crates in his way. That's just how they get down here on X-Plane. Alright. Since that's happening right now, we'll let him go ahead and get connected. Let's come down here. And as you can see here right now, our current trim is 1.0, but we need 7 up for our takeoff. So right now I'm elevating, or I'm trimming up the elevators in the back. Alright, now it matches 7.0 up to 7. Here's our rotation speeds. The runway is dry. And
right.
got a V-rotate at 123.
Closed and we're ready to connect.
Alright, so let's go back to the original piece here. And we said our takeoff heading is going to be 159, so let's plug that in as well.
We got that winching strap and adapter hooked up. Go ahead and let go of the parking brake when you're ready for a push.
Alright, we'll do that. And this actually was 259. So that's going to be our target heading, of course, up to 19,000. Here's our target speed. And we'll plan for a vertical speed of, let's say, right to start with. We'll do right at 2,000 for the vertical speed. So that's entries accepted. And now what I like to do anyway, well, let's get this brake off. Alright, so that brake's off, but what we'll do is we are going to make sure the aircraft is already set up for a nice departure. So I'm putting the lateral navigation on, as well as I'm going to put this into the vertical speed mode. And let's make sure that that 2,000 is there, and it's right there. So what just happened basically is
Here comes the pushback.
I've set the aircraft, as soon as I get the autopilot on, it will automatically pitch up to 2,000 feet per minute to help me control that.
St. Louis Tower. St. Louis Tower, 5x5.
Once again, welcome aboard X-Craft. We are creating the most friendly aircraft, and it's our sincere hope that you have a pleasant experience with us today.
This guy's cooking on this tug. Anyway, welcome aboard, everybody. Let's go in the back
Refer to the safety information
so you
card
can hear the
located
safety
in
brief.
the pocket in front of you. You can follow along as I point out the airplane's safety features. There are 4 clearly marked exits: the main cabin door through which you entered, an exit on the right side located at row 2, and 2 window exits located at row 11. Take a moment to locate the exit nearest you, keeping in mind that the closest usable exit may be located behind you. In the event of an emergency, this aircraft is equipped with floor path lighting located along both sides of the aisle, which will guide you to the exits indicated by lighted exit signs. In the event of a water landing, your seat cushion may be used as a flotation device. To use, pull it up and away from the seat frame, and put your arms through the straps on the underside of the cushion. Then rest your upper
Look at these
body
guys.
on
They need
the
their
cushion.
driver's license. I tell you, they're off the chain.
Federal
Those guys are
aviation
so
regulations
ready to
require
work here in the
compliance
X-plane
with
world.
signs,
They don't even care about
posted
aircraft
placards,
moving on the
and
tarmac.
member
That's what I'm talking
instructions.
about.
Federal law prohibits smoking
All those
in
guys
the
are looking for
aircraft
promotions.
cabin
You
and
can tell that.
lavatory at any time.
Good for
Tampering
them.
with, disabling,
Anyway, Happy New
or
Year to everybody.
destroying
Hope everybody's
lavatories
doing
smoke
well.
detectors
And we're looking for some good flying here today.
To fasten your seat
Thank
belt,
you for
insert
joining,
the
of
metal
course.
clip into the buckle. To tighten, pull on the loose
All
end of the
right.
strap.
So, let's get back
Lift
up.
on the face.
The push is almost done. You can hear them muffled in the background.
Whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated. Also for your safety,
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
seatbelt fastened at all times while
All right, parking brake is
And
set.
we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Should oxygen be needed, a mask will drop from the compartment located above your
VFR departures contact.
Just
clearance
double checking it
delivery
hasn't
and
changed
sign
from
on
Alpha.
heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions.
Making sure it's not changed before we report it.
Initial contact Janet information Alpha.
Still Alpha. Perfect. That's all we wanted. It's still Alpha, so if they make any changes, that's on them. Let's go ahead and check right, check left. I'm assuming he's still doing the strap out there. He must be getting it off. But we'll go ahead and start the right engine. Call out right engine starting. All right. Gust lock is up. Everything down here is looking good.
Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have
Put
a
that
safe
in the
flight.
takeoff feature. And we're going to come up top here.
turned off and stowed
Number 150 Quebec Burbank Tower runway 8.
Go ahead and get that engine started.
and secured.
08, we're taking off.
All right, you can see we got rotation on the right side. ITT's coming up, so is N1.
As well as your flight attendant call button. We thank you for your attention. If we can make your flight more enjoyable, please let us know. We will be airborne shortly.
Looks like they're about done with their announcements. All right, we got that engine stabilized. Go ahead and start this one.
Radio check, setting Lily Tower.
And now we got rotation on the left side.
Last one was a radio check.
ITT coming up as well as the Notch 1 fan.
Thank you on that 5x5. I'm sorry if you could hear me. I couldn't hear you, so I think I got it fixed now. Thank you for your time.
All right, that engine has came up, so we are looking good there. Now let's go ahead and turn our doggone squawk code on, or our beacon, or our transponder. So everything there is looking good. Now one thing we want to do is make sure all of these extinguish before we turn the APU off. So now we can most certainly turn the bleed off, and we can get our packs on along with the bleeds. Our windshield heat's on. And now we can essentially turn that APU off, and everything up top is looking good. And we just need to close this dust cover, and we will be calling for clearance here shortly, folks. Let's go ahead and do our flight controls check. Let's see, we got our ECS, range, fuel, hydraulics, look good. All right, you can see fuel. We got a total 6,880 pounds. So far, used 70 pounds. No big deal. It's 36 Celsius outside. So back to our takeoff profile. The engine is in the takeoff 1 mode, so we're doing good there. All right, now we're going to come back here, but let's put our flaps down. All right, you can see here we got flaps 9 selected on the flap handle, and we'll make sure it's indicated.
Number 1510 Quebec contact.
Flaps
departure.
9 is now indicated. Spoilers are closed.
Contact departure.
All right. So we're doing good. Flight directors are on. All right, let's do our flight controls check. All right, full back, full forward, full left, aileron right, and of course rudder left and rudder right. All right, flight controls are checked and complete. Aircraft is trimmed up, 7 up. The flaps are set at 9. Flight directors are on. MCP is set. Flight level 190 in the MCP top altitude for the Sheet 1 departure. Ladder navigation is selected with vertical speed at 2,000 feet per minute. And the flight crew has been briefed. Passenger signs are on, and up top is all good. I think it's time to call for taxi, folks. What do you think? Everybody ready to go? All right, let's make this happen.
Number 978 Alpha plus Fullerton Tower, enter right downwind runway 24, report midfield.
Right downwind, runway 24, report midfield, Skyhawk, 8 Alpha Papa.
Las Vegas ground, Envoy 318, information Alpha, ready to taxi.
Envoy 318 Las Vegas, ground runway 26 right, taxi via Charlie Bravo.
26 right via Charlie Bravo, Envoy 318. Alright, just as we anticipated, we most certainly have our runway and taxi that we thought it would be. So now the only thing we need to do is I want to come down here and in the autopilot as well. Well, we got our target heading. Just double check everything. Boom, boom, boom. And we are good, folks. Let's go ahead and get our taxi light on. Taxi light is on. Strobe off. Beacon on. Nav on. And logo is on. Fasten seatbelts on. We're all good to go, folks. The cabin pressurization is all squared away at 28,000 feet here in the pressurization set panel. So we are good to go, and parking brake is released. Again, welcome aboard this flight 38 Envoy 318, full service to San Francisco. We will be stopping for a brief moment in the actual Fresno area. So we'll see if I can get a quick turnaround on this aircraft. Hopefully that's the case. If not, we'll struggle through it together. All right. We're going to be joining Charlie here. And then we'll take this all the way down, folks.
Showing clearance, good evening. Walker 436 is a Cessna.
All right, so this is the first recorded stream with this aircraft or video. Hopefully this goes well. If not, you guys can just tell me, hey man, you needed more training on that. All right, we're doing good. Aircraft is in the takeoff 1 profile, which is a good thing. Well, she likes to cruise down, doesn't she? Let's increase the range there to 10. All right, again, everybody, thanks for joining us. Hopefully we have a seamless takeoff.
Strong wind clearance on departure.
She's taxiing pretty quick. What's the taxi speed here? About 30 knots. All right, we need to slow it down a little bit.
Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 6356.
Alright, after departure, fly heading 080 at or below 3,000, maintaining the
Alright.
Departure frequency 128.1, squawking.
Just up top, pulling up my departure.
Walker 436.
Walker 436, feedback correct.
Alright, first waypoint should be above 7,000, or between 6,500 and 7,000 feet. No worries there, we can make that happen. All right. It's pretty loud back there, so we'll stay up here as much as possible. All right, and there will be no in-flight entertainment on this one. There's no worries there. All right. Let's go down and switch over here to tower. Alright, we've officially switched over to tower, and then we'll get our...
Monty Tower, TPM 13 Whiskey Building Short, 19er.
TPM 13 Whiskey Monty Tower, runway 19, clear for takeoff.
19 clear for takeoff.
Alright, let's set that parking brake. Parking brake is set. Let's come down here and go into the radio feature. And now we'll take this 125.9 and we'll put that in our standby so we can stay ahead of the aircraft. And there we go. Alright, we got ropers 6,500 above, so we'll be trying to keep with that.
Monty Tower, Cessna 4620 Papa, currently about 5 miles northeast.
Alright, just waiting to get our clearance to take off.
With the numbers. Cessna 4620 Papa, L Monty Tower. Run, enter left base runway 19, runway 19, clear to land. Enter left base runway 19, clear to land, 4620 Papa.
Las Vegas Tower, Envoy 318 on Bravo, holding short runway 26 right, ready for departure.
Envoy 318 Las Vegas Tower, runway 26 right, clear for takeoff.
26 right, clear for takeoff, Envoy 318. Alright folks, well, it is definitely go time. Let's go ahead and get all of our lights on, as well as our strobe. Let's go outside and get a shot. It's going to be loud, but there we go. That is our configuration. We have all of our lights on, as you can see, and we are ready to dust off. So, let's do just that. All right.
78 Alpha Papa, midfield right downwind 24. We're 978 Alpha Papa, runway 24, clear to land.
Let's go ahead and duck and check, make sure final is clear. I don't see any aircraft on final. Just double checked it again. I thought I saw something out there. Okay, it was the head of the light pole. All right, folks. Let's go ahead and make this money.
John Wayne Tower, landing at Hellstream will be at your own risk. Use caution.
Use caution, Hellstream 2901. Don't mind 2901.
Alright, let's line her up on the runway. Best of our ability. We're stable. 40%. Takeoff power is set.
Wayne Brown, Walker 436 at the southwest ramp. Request taxi to the tower run-up area.
Speed is alive.
Walker 436, taxi to the tower run-up area via Bravo.
V1, V-rotate.
Taxi via Bravo and will advise when about to leave run-up. Walker 436.
Gear is coming up. We got a positive rate.
Forward Tower, Skyhawk Center, 78 Alpha Papa going.
Alright. Let me just trim the aircraft down, fly it manually here for a second.
Number 978 Alpha Papa, roger, enter,
Alright. Keep that nose down there. Keep it right above 10 for the climb.
Right traffic,
we go to autopilot now. Keep on course, she stayed pretty steady, and we're going to go flaps up. See if we get him to have us go over to departure here or not.
Envoy 318, contact departure, good day.
Over to departure, Envoy 318. Alright, so let's also bring that speed back slightly before we go over to departure. Alright, let's see if that vertical speed is holding right at 2,000. There we go. Bring that engine. Now we can go into the climb feature.
09682 Hotel.
Alright, we're in the climb feature. Let's go over to departure here.
November 9.
We don't want to exceed that speed. You got to watch out. These engines are pretty strong. Las Vegas departure, Envoy 318, 5,500 climbing via SID.
Envoy 318, Las Vegas departure, radar contact.
Alright, so we got radar contact, we're monitoring our engines, we're in the climb feature, flaps are up and clean, gears up and stowed. We are on course and we need to be above 6,500. So now at this point, we need to slow our roll down, because the first point we're supposed to be at 6,500 and no higher. So let's kind of slow our roll down now. Let's just double check that. We don't want to go any faster. So now we'll go to the legs. See, yeah, Roper is 6,500. The next one at Mad Dog is 9,000. So we're monitoring it. Up to flight level 190, Envoy 318. Now, basically, that means we can go all the way up to flight level 190. So now we don't have to adhere to the actual prerequisites of the departure. So now we can go all the way up to flight level 190. We don't have to follow the departure anymore, so we appreciate that. All right, not doing too bad.
1510 Quebec, Josh approach, Palmdale, altimeter 3018.
Let's watch our speed. Hey, Chief Sim Pilot, welcome to the stream, my brother. Sorry about that. Nose was getting a little hot. I don't know why I sweat on the nose. I don't sweat anywhere else. My wife says I'm the first person she's ever met I sweat on the nose. Anyway, Chief Sim Pilot, welcome aboard here, Envoy Flight 318, full service to San Francisco with one stop in Fresno. I am flying, my brother, the aircraft you recommended, the Embraer 145XR, provided to me through Payware by X-Crafts in the house. Happy New Year, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Everybody, again, thanks for joining the stream. Thanks for stopping in. And we're going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep it rolling.
Delta radio check.
All right. So we're still keeping our speed limitations above 10,000. And we're getting ready to cross that. We can actually go ahead and turn that taxi light off and get the landing lights off now. We actually broke the rules by about 200 feet, but the lights are off now.
303, ident.
4303 and we'll live it.
600 Delta, be advised.
So we still got a pretty good climb.
The Charlie airspace there, and you'll need to stay above 3,000 there to not violate the TFR at Disneyland.
Okay, we dropped the TFR. We'll stay above 3,000, and we'll figure out what we did wrong here on the Charlie 600 Delta.
600 Delta, Roger. You just descended through the corner of the Charlie over Disneyland.
All right.
TFR is 3,000, surface to 3,000. Are you ready to contact?
Good thing is about this aircraft, I did forget to start the chronometer, but it does it automatically right here. So it's either as soon as the pressure of the gear come off the ground, or once the gear come up is when it will go ahead and do its automatic piece there. I'm still monitoring the engine manually since this doesn't have auto throttles. I could do a flight level change, but I'm in the vertical speed mode. And those engines are pretty good. Nice, bro. Always a pleasure. Absolutely, my brother. Always a pleasure to have you on board. Again, I'm doing my first recorded flight here in this E145XR, and you are absolutely right. I'm enjoying it.
Contact Los Angeles Center 133.2.
Over to Los Angeles Center 133.2. We'll see Envoy 318. Alright, so that's one thing we have to pay attention to, is they'll be talking to us here more frequently than VATSIM, so we're on to Los Angeles Center 133.2. Los Angeles Center Envoy Air 14,200, climbing flight level 190.
Envoy 318 Los Angeles Center, climb maintain flight level 280.
Okay, up to flight level 280, Envoy 318. Alright, so now we got our final cruising in there, so we can go ahead and put our altitude all the way up to flight level 280. That's our final cruising. It's now in the altitude target space right here on our primary flight display. You got any streams coming up there, Chief Sim Pilot, that we need to know about? Let me blast that out for you. I see you hit your 300 subs. Proud of you, brother. Keep it up. Alright, let's go ahead and increase our range. Once we get up to our cruising altitude, which we won't be there for that long, we'll go ahead and do our planning into the Fresno area. Just know that I have predetermined our runway, but all that can change, of course, so we may be changing that. But based off of general practices of flying into that field, It's usually always runway 29 right, unless the winds have egregiously changed directions, which we will most certainly observe that, my folks. Alright, once we get to 18,000 feet or flight level 180, you guys know the deal here in the United States. That is the transition altitude. We will put our altimeters into standard pressure of 2992. Alright. About 400 to go on that. Tomorrow, Chief Sim Pilot says he's going to be streaming potentially. Been swamped at work this weekend. The career comes first. Absolutely, my brother. I couldn't have said it better. Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and fix up my standard pressure here to 299.2. There it is, and let's make sure that's in our standby as well. 299. Okay, we're good. Yeah, Chief Sim Pilot. Same thing here. Again, my wife and I, we run our own business. We work with a lot of companies as well in our circle. Some of our family members have business as well. Man, we were swamped this week, still are. Again, I had to stop and take time and say, you know what, I want to do a stream. I don't want to get too far out of the loop of flying, but I feel you, brother. Hope your work is going well. And if I remember correctly, are you still trying to attain your PhD? Let me know. Let me know. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. My last degree was a business degree in business administration. Graduated that again in 2015. And a few classes away from getting my master's in human resources management. That slowed down, obviously, because I'm running my own business, and that is the focus every day. So hopefully I'll finish those classes sometime and finish that graduate degree. But if not, my business right now is my priority. Boy, look at that scenery. Alright, still continuing to climb. You can see the aircraft is losing a little bit of speed, but I can throw in a little bit more power just to keep this speed right here. So that's good. Yeah, I can't say get educated and be a steward of your craft as much as possible. Before I started this business, I had a background with some criminal justice education. Then I decided to go back and get another 4-year degree in business administration before I started the business. So I completed that in 2015 and my wife and I built our other home by 2018. And then right after that, we opened up the business. And it's been interesting so far. Love the journey, love the challenge, and we're only going to continue to scale it up with God's blessings. So that's good. That's good. Heck yeah, totally agree. Yes, sir. It's all about, in order to be good leaders of our community, good leaders of our families, we got to lead by example. So I tell my kids I want their degrees right next to mine on the wall. That's what you owe mommy and daddy. You owe us to do well for yourself. And that's all we can really ask from our children. So got a 22-year-old daughter in college. She'll be finishing. She works with the business as well. Have an 18-year-old. She's joining the Air Force and continuing her college career that well. And then we'll see what the other 4 do. So again, Chief Sim Pilot, man, you always motivate me, brother. It's always good to find another peer out in the sim world, especially, or anywhere really in the walk of life. So that's good. All right, so we're doing good. We're about 3,000 shy of being at our target cruising altitude of 28,000 feet. We are on course. So far, so good. We're looking for a good landing today, of course. That is the goal. Still on our way up, so just monitoring the aircraft systems. Let's get you guys a little bit of a view here and keep it rolling. Again, guys, today's flight is not that long. That's why we're only flying at 28,000 feet all the way to Fresno. We don't have so much music going on today because we are flying on PilotEdge, and before you know it, I'll miss one of their commands and man, I'll get in trouble. So, since we're doing the PilotEdge thing today, which is going to be pretty much my voice on board here, but not a stereo cockpit anyway until we land, All right, we got about 1,100 feet to go until we are at final, and then we'll manage our speed. I plan on cruising us right about Mach 7.6. Yes, lots of commonalities, my brother. I definitely agree, Chief Sim. Like I said, you know, hey, bonds are bigger than how they're formed. You know, bonds are bigger than how they form. Look at water. You know, two hydrogens and oxygen, but once they're formed, they have a structure that's so strong. So that's right, brother. A lot of commonalities here. You know, great meeting you through the flight sim community, and I'm sure, man, we'll be kicking ideas and sharing ideas and motivating each other, you know, as we continue our journey here. All right, let's declutter. Let's get these airports off here. I don't like a cluttered MFD. So essentially we can come here to the map and I can take these airports off. So now that's decluttered. So now we've got the VORs and the TCAS on there, which is just fine with me. Everything else is looking good. Let's check our fuel burn. Fuel burn is looking good. We still got 5,870 pounds of fuel in there. And of course now we can come over and start doing our planning. Let's get our speed up just a little bit. I am manually handling the speed. Again, there is no auto throttle on this aircraft. It's a little dark down there. Let's see. Turn that floodlight up slightly. Still dark down here. We'll see if we can get that brighter as well. Speed is still picking up. And we're going to balance it out about Mach 0.76 manually, of course. So aircraft is doing good. Let's go over to your side, the first officer side, and I like the profile over here as well. Let's go and check these hydraulics out quick. All right, that's looking good. We're about at Mach 7.6, so I'm pulling back on the power now slightly. So we'll manage it and we'll make sure it stays kind of right here. It's a fine science, folks. All right, we'll try to keep it right here. And if it goes up and down a little bit, that's not going to be anything too much for concern. Let's go back. It's going to be loud back here, but let's go back and see how you guys are, the other of you guys are doing in the cab. Boy, it's loud back there, that's for sure. It's loud. All right. Again, everybody, appreciate you joining, appreciate you staying, appreciate you being on board in my hands virtually. Hopefully these hands will get us down where you don't have too much of a traumatic brain injury or whiplash or anything like that. So I apologize in advance if we do, but I'm at least get us down where it's least copacetic, where it's not a bad landing. So let's just get that right out there. With the spirit of that, let us most certainly take a look at some weather in the Fresno area. All right. Fresno, what are you doing for weather? Let's check you out. Okay, so I may have anticipated the wrong runway, so it'll just make it interesting. Winds were favorable to landing on runway 29er, but now they're essentially 130 degrees difference of this 240 degrees, so now that's an eastern landing. And it's modified VFR, so something is going over there in the Fresno area where it's not that clear. You can see visibility is not the standard 10 miles, which would make it a VFR situation, but it's only 5 miles, so there should be some cloud cover coming in. You can see broken here at 2,000. So the winds are really good, 3 knots, so we should be able to land full flaps. And that's just so we can get it slow as we want. Even though the runway is long enough, I believe I'll land it full. We'll see. We'll make that determination and see what we're looking at. But the wind direction is not bad at all. And the altimeter is 3024 as it stands now. Now, we will be getting the ATIS. So, with that spirit, we are also going to... okay, let me answer a question here really quick. Hello there, Austin Master. Welcome aboard here. We are heading to Fresno, and let's check and see how long we have. We departed Las Vegas, my friend. If we come over here and look at our progress page, let's see if we can get enough information here. At this point, we probably have, my friend, in order for us to start descending and landing, we probably have another 20 minutes until we start our descent. Just to answer your question there, Austin Master, and again, thank you for joining the stream, my friend. And then right after that, Austin Master, we're going to land in Fresno. It'll be a quick turnaround for a small, really small, brief flight of only 177 nautical miles into San Francisco area. We're flying Envoy Air today, of course, and full service to Fresno. I'm sorry, full service to San Francisco. Let's go outside. It's going to be loud out here. This is our livery today. Again, fictitious flight. Envoy really doesn't do this. SkyWest does, but they do represent American Eagle. So we decided to go ahead and throw a little bit of fiction in today with the real route, minus the stop in Fresno. So SkyWest does this route. I don't know if United does it, but anyway, we're doing it today the way we want to do it. So thank you guys for joining. Again, let's go ahead and start using our charting system here to get our frequencies plugged in. So now what I'm going to do is pull up the specifics for the Fresno airport. We don't have a departure, or I'm sorry, we don't have an arrival into the Fresno area. So here's the field. Again, generally, 29er right is the runway we'll use, but both runways technically are more than enough stopping space for this aircraft. And then the terminal is very small terminal over here. Let's see, is your plane freeware? If not, how much did it cost? Austin Master, this aircraft is not freeware. This is X-Craft's E145XR, and it also comes at 145. You can buy a bundle package for 80 bucks. I didn't want that. I just needed this aircraft and its other rendition, which is the 145. This is the XR I'm flying. And so this was about $40-something. You can look at the xplane.org and check it out. I'm very particular about which planes I get, and so far the sounds, the functionality of the aircraft is to my liking, but there are some things you'll have to get used to, like the FMS is different and so on and so forth. Chief Sim Pilot, who's also joining us in here, actually recommended this. I've seen him stream it and fly it, so I went ahead and did it for myself as well, and I'm enjoying it up until this point. Hope that answers your question, brother. Okay, so this is the field. Again, generally 29er right is the runway we come in on, but I think we might be doing 11 left or 11 right. And the winds will dictate that. If you want to look at where we are currently on the route, here we are right here. So once we get to Kino, we'll get on our airway of Q162. We're going to exit that at Kebab. We'll be direct Friant, and then here's the field. So not that far out, my friend, as far as our first destination, and then we'll do the next turnaround on there. So right now we're kind of in a holding pattern until we get the ATIS or the terminal information, which will give us a weather report. We're doing a great job, thanks to you guys, of course, thanks to you guys, of keeping our speed at 0.766 Mach. And I say thanks to you guys. I've been distracted answering questions. So because of you guys, obviously you guys are right seating it for me, and you guys kept the speed, so thank you for that. And that's right, Austin Master, it's really not a bad price. Again, I always advocate freeware is great. I love freeware. The Zebo mod for the 737 and all its renditions or liveries or different sizes of it, 700, 800, 900, so on and so forth, are awesome. So I love supporting that platform as well, but I also love supporting, as a small business owner, I also love supporting other companies that make great products. So I have no problem paying a certain price for a payware if I get that value from there. And that's why I tell folks you should know the difference between your spending habits or buying habits, whether you're a price buyer or a value buyer. Price and value buyers are two different things. Even though this isn't the cheapest aircraft, which I bought another aircraft from X-Crafts that I didn't like, which was their ERJ 170, whatever it is. So then I went over to SSG. But this one is not bad, my brother. So I fly. Okay, so he's asking, Austin Master's asking, do I have a private pilot's license or do I fly commercially? The answer is no. The answer is I'm this close away from going to get my private pilot's license, but just so busy with my business. But I did, do the PilotEdge experience, which we're on PilotEdge now. I have literally taken all of the VFR ratings, which they call them CAT ratings, and then also the IFR ratings, and passed all of those. You guys can go check that out if you go to PilotEdge. There is a list of all rated pilots. And so I've done that. How about yourself, brother? Are you a simmer, a real-world pilot? And how long have you been flying, and which platform do you like? Do you like X-Plane, Microsoft 2020? Which one, brother? So let me know. And thanks for the conversation. Again, thanks for everybody joining. We don't have much farther to go until we get to Fresno. We should start descending here in the next 15 minutes or so. Here in the moment, we are going to... Actually, let's go ahead and try to get that ATIS on board. So, back to the chart here. Let's bring it back in. So the ATIS, or the terminal information in Fresno, is 121.35. So let's see how far we are to get that. Let's go ahead down here and type 121.35. 121.35. Right into here and switch that over. Now we have that in there. Now on this aircraft, if you do get it, just realize this is the COM 1 panel. And in order to change COM 2 over here, you can't do it. It's not simulated per se on this side, other than switching frequencies from standby to active. However, you can either change it in the autopilot or the CDU or the FMS, or you come down here and you can use this to change your secondary frequency as well. So let's see how far we are and if we actually get our ATIS. So we're most certainly too far out and too high for sure. So we'll just continue on here. Eventually, all right, Mom. My mom is joining. And thanks for joining, Mom. And I see Austin Master. He's only 12 and taking a private pilot's course. So everyone thinks it's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. What a big achievement. Listen, young man, I have a 12-year-old myself. A 22-year-old, 18-year-old, 12-year-old, 11-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 4-year-old. So from a father and a mentor of young folks, that is very good to keep your mind sharp. Keep it up. This is a great hobby that can also turn into, you can take up your passion and really get into aviation if you know what you want to do when you're young. So that's great. I say follow that passion. I've been able to do a lot of cool things in my life, such as drive tanks and shoot tanks, work on tanks, go to different countries, different lands, be in the military. And again, my passion came by way of my dad exposing me to Flight Simulator back in the late 90s. And then I think it was Microsoft Flight Simulator 98. Then I fell in love with it. And obviously my military career, never had a chance to fly rotary, which I'm not interested in helicopters, or fixed wing aircraft. So this is the best way to live my dream, but still support family and take care of my goals. Maybe one day I get my private pilot license, maybe not. But this is enough for me to enjoy it and feel like I'm following my dreams. So thanks for sharing that, Austin Master, and best wishes to you in your pursuit for your private pilot's license, as well as your academic career. I'm sure your parents are proud of you. All right. So we're continuing right along. It's been awfully quiet with the air traffic control. Let me go and check, make sure we're still good to go. It's almost been too quiet for comfort. But we're still there, online. We haven't been disconnected or anything on accident, so that happens sometimes too. Are you guys ready for a good landing here? Let's see what the day brings. Right now the winds are favorable out of an eastern landing, so I'm not programming anything, even though I already have programmed in landing for runway 29 right. We may have to change that, obviously. So we will see how that works. Alright guys, I think let's go outside and get a quick flyby. Oh, you know what? Let's, I was for a minute there, I'm like, the comms have been too quiet. Let's just do a comms check. Any station is Nate. Radio check.
Clear.
Alright, so they're still on, just very quiet. Again, when you're...
Envoy 318, contact Oakland Center 128.45.
Okay, over in Oakland Center 128.45. We'll see you next time, Envoy 318. Alright, so
Envoy 318, I'm sorry, it's 127.45.
I thought so. Okay, I figured it was that, but we'll go over to 127.45 for Envoy 318. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. Okay, so 127.45. Again, I fly this a lot, so when he said 128, I was just going to take it, but I was like, that ain't the right one. So there we go, 127.45. Good evening, Oakland Center, Envoy 318, checking in flight level 280.
Envoy 318, Oakland Center, thank you.
Alright, so we're all checked in. Now that we're in Oakland Center, we're getting ready to get some descent instructions here. So Austin, actually I'm using a pretty antiquated yoke system. Not antiquated, but it's older. I've had this since 2014. My wife is steadily trying to get me a new flight system, but I use the, it's still a Satec, which I believe is now a Logitech, but it's a Satec X52 Professional right now, but I am going to be getting some other flight yoke systems. I haven't decided on Thrustmaster or whatever. The toys that I want are a little bit expensive, so I'm just being selective when I do. How about yourself? What do you use for your flight system?
CGMWT Spokane, Archer radar contact, 20 local direct Spokane.
All right.
2000.
All right, guys. So far, so good. One thing we did forget to do is to put the aircraft's engine into the climb feature. Or not the climb feature, but the cruise feature. You can hear the engines kind of piping down. So we were burning probably more fuel than we needed to, and that's because I didn't do the checklist, which this does have a checklist as well. Now we are in the cruise feature, even though I'm not quite sure if that piece is even on the actual checklist. You can see, I'm going to have to throw in some more power to keep 7.6 because now those engines are following the cruise profile. So on this aircraft, if you guys want to see the checklist, here it is. You can go right in here to all the checklists after start, takeoff, and things of that nature. So you can actually follow it if you want to. It's here, and I recommend doing it so that you don't forget anything. That's the beautiful thing about Simmons. Sometimes I forego the checklist, but if I'm really doing it, getting all the nuts and bolts in there, then I most certainly, alright, we're dialing back to power. You can see she was increasing speed. Alright. What about that good old honeycomb yoke? Yeah, I know, that's the one, Chief Sim Pilot. That's the one I'm thinking about getting as well. I showed my wife that as well, and she's like, baby, let's get it, baby, let's get it. I'm like, okay, baby. I'm like, you know, she likes to spoil me. So we'll see. You know, that's the one I want. I want to have a different couple of ones. Like, I want to get another side stick when I fly Airbuses. I want to get that Thrustmaster yoke system. I also fly from time to time DCS, Digital Combat Simulator, the A10. I've got a bunch of aircrafts there, but I simply have not even messed with that simulator for some time. Alright, this is getting interesting. We should start getting our descent here pretty shortly. To go from there, so let's go ahead and take a look at our legs page. We're direct kebabbed and frying, so aggregated between these 2 points, we've got about, 4 and 2 is 6, plus 6 and 3, so we've got 69 miles between these 2 points to get to, so we'll be getting our descent here really soon. One thing we should always do is square up the heading, just in case we have to fly heading. So I just basically tapped on the end of this knob here, and it brought this little blue situation here, or teal. Don't let me say the wrong colors in front of my kids. They will correct me. Bring that till situation there. We got winds right now coming out of us, basically out of the north or northwest at 41 knots here. And you can see Kebab. So we should be getting, like I said, a descent here pretty soon. I'll be interested to see what type of approach she has us on. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Again, thanks everybody for riding on.
Allegiant 380, contact departure.
All right. We're slightly under our target speed of 0.76 Mach, but that's okay. Let's try to get that ATIS. I think we should be close enough.
6, altimeter 3024.
Allegiant 383, contact departure, radar contact.
ILS runway 29 right and Arnav runway 29 left approach in use. The FR
Walker
departure
462, contact Denver Center 120.47.
I'm trying not to miss her commands, that's why I keep turning it off, but it still looks like it's reporting runway 29er, so western landing. That's strange.
Denver Center, Walker 462, flight level 2382.
Walker 462, Denver Center, thank you. Denver altimeter 3027, expect south transition.
All right. What freeware do you have? Recommend I have Zebo, so not Zebo.
Walker 462, expect transition.
Well,
South transition for Walker 462.
Austin Master, the Zebo technically is the only freeware that I fly. I like all my aircrafts to be immersive. Meaning that I want them to stay as closest to realism as possible, and usually you're going to get that with payware, or if you have a developer that goes into there that does something like the Zebo team did, then I definitely fly that one because that's the best. That freeware to me is the best 737 for X-plane. Other than that, I couldn't tell you. I see Chief Sim Pilot says there's a freeware MS Park 747 400 nice out there, which I'm going to check that out, Chief Sim Pilot, for sure.
Okay, let me reprogram everything here. Walker 460, thanks.
All right, that speed was creeping up. Got to watch it. Still waiting on some descent instructions here. Max said it good, just like the nice. Yeah, so I'll have to look at that, and I don't even have the Zebo 700, 800, or 900. I think I need to get the latest Zebo update. I got one that's good enough to fly online. It doesn't, but I need to get the latest Zebo update and update it to the Mass Chief Sim Pilot and Austin Master. So we'll see how that goes. All right, now we are direct flying. So now, for sure, we should be getting some descent instructions here shortly. That way we're not rushing our descent. So, let's go back over here.
383, contact Denver Center, correction, contact, Denver Center, 120.47.
All right, let's get for a second. All right, let's go and see.
Walker 462, contact Denver approach 120.35.
Let's see if we can get some more ATIS information.
Southwest 1180, Albuquerque clearance, stand by.
Denver Center, Allegiant 383, 11900 for 1.000.
Allegiant 383, Denver Center, climb and maintain flight level 230.
Maintain flight level 230, Allegiant 383.
Oakland Center, Envoy 318. Let's see if that.
462, Denver approach. I you have Goff, and you look for 16 left or 16 right?
Yeah, we're getting way too close. I think, I don't know if she's missing us on the scope, but we should definitely have started a descent by now. So every now and then you have to reach out to them and let them know, hey, we're still here. Let's see. How do I use X-Plane multiplayer? It's buggy and super janky. I love that word, janky.
Walker 462, and you said you look for the one.
Yeah, I've heard that about X-Plane multiplayer. I think it's better to use a general platform like VATSIM or PilotEdge to get on and fly online.
Heading 050, and I'll be vector for ILS runway 16 left approach.
All right. Let's check in. Oakland Center, Envoy 318.
Back Denver Center, 118.57.
Denver Center, 118.57, Allegiant 383.
Yeah, we're way out of our descent.
Walker 462, center maintain 9,000, reduced to 210 or less.
Oakland Center, Envoy 318 is requesting descent at this time. We notice we're getting close to the field, but we are still very high.
Multiple at once. I believe SkyWest 4632 is checking in. Denver Center, Denver altimeter 3027. Expect south transition. And Visor Golf.
We're Zulu south transition. We're descending via SkyWest 4632.
Allegiant 383, contact Denver Center 133.67.
I wonder if they can hear us. There's no way. But they haven't even been saying any commands to us, so this is peculiar.
Envoy 318, center maintain flight level 240.
Down to flight level 240, Envoy 318. So, I think it's very peculiar that
Allegiant 383,
we got the descent instructions so late in the game. I'm not too happy about that. So we're going to bleed the speed back. Now let's get the ATIS here. So essentially, according to my flight plan, we're supposed to go direct to the field afterward, but there's literally no way that we could do that. So I'm just going to put it in the manual mode here. Let's get our ATIS.
Allegiant 383, Denver Center, climb maintain flight level 270.
Advise on course heading altitude. Following is requested. Leave back all runway assignments.
Alright, Walker 462, are you able to direct Haley at this point from the airlift approach?
Information Hotel.
So we have hotel.
Fresno Air Terminal 8 Information Hotel.
Walker 462, roger, 6 miles on about a 075 heading.
At 3.
When able to direct Haley.
Haze.
Cross Haley at 1000 or above.
Temperature 9.
Cleared ILS runway 16 left approach.
Altimeter 3024. Arriving and parting runways 29er left, 29er right. ILS runway 29
Southwest 1180, cleared to Denver International Airport.
All right.
Turkey 3 departure Alamosa. As filed.
They're still doing 29er left and 29er right.
10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency.
So we're going manual. Technically, according to my flight plan, we're supposed to go direct to the field. So I'm going to make a left turn direct from the field from Friant, but she's going to have to vector me because we are way too close and way too high. And it's I don't know what was going on. Maybe she was too busy.
Southwest 1180, reback correct. Power 1 Albuquerque clear. Skywest 4633, contact Denver approach 120.35.
All right, so we're going to keep our speed about 270.
46.
Let's see what she gives us. There's definitely a cloud cover. All right, so now we should be direct towards the field. She didn't give us anything else, so now essentially we have to do that.
Direct where?
So, according to our flight plan, you're supposed to go from our last point. We're supposed to go direct to the field, so we're doing that now manually. But she's most certainly going to have to vector us.
I'll go ahead and give you a turn anyway. Turn right heading 140 during the localizer. I'll just back you onto the localizer at this point.
So we're just going direct to the field. All right. Empty player.
Walker 462 heading 1.
All right, folks.
On the localizer, maintain 900,000.
So now here's the field. We are direct there, and she's going to give us vectors, of course, because we're not that.
That was 4633, Denver approach, Denver altimeter 3027. ILS approach is being used to look for the 16 left or 16 right.
All right, so we're at 24,000 feet.
Expect ILS runway 16 left approach.
We're going to be definitely over the airfield high enough.
All right, who was calling for taxi?
So she's getting overwhelmed. I get it. And that's making us delayed in the air. We're at 42 minutes already after takeoff. So hopefully this.
All right, PTMWT contact Seattle Center 132.6.
All right, so let's go ahead and start looking at some checklists here since we have a little bit of time.
Sky 1306 Charlie, exact as ground, runway 20, taxi.
Descent and approach altimeters, ECAS check, windshield heating on, approach briefing completed, pressurization panel is set, external lights are on, so that's the descent. Notified. All right, so nothing major we got to do here.
Will you remain in the pattern or are you departing?
All right, landing, so.
Envoy 318, contact Oakland Center 125.75.
Oakland Center 25.75, Envoy 318. All right, 25.75.
104, contact Seattle Center 135.15.
3515, Piedmont 6104.
Oakland Center, Envoy 318, flight level 240.
Envoy 318, Oakland Center, continue present heading, descend and maintain 14,000, Fresno altimeter 3024.
3024 on the altimeter, 14,000, will descend and maintain present heading, Envoy 318. All right, so 14,000.
Oakland Center, Piedmont.
Let's go ahead and get that descent popping.
At flight level 280, ready for descent.
All right.
Piedmont 6104.
We'll go ahead and get the standard 18. She clearly, like I said, she clearly was a little overwhelmed. That's why we didn't get a smooth arrival into the area. But that's okay. So we are into the area. We should have been doing, I think we're still doing runway 29er right.
Thank you.
Because the ATIS is reflecting that. So we'll see what we got going here, folks. Nothing to worry about.
WT Moses Lake altimeter 3035.
3035, Charlie, got my question.
All right, so we are descending, and we will be descending below flight level 180. So let's go ahead and get our altimeters at 3024.
462, you are.
There we are.
2 miles from J Bob, or correction, Joe Bob. Maintain at 1,000.
Technically, I should do that right at 18,000 feet, but I just chose to do it now because I don't know what else is going to be thrown at us, and we shouldn't be getting any other type of altitude reporting instructions until we at least get to 11,000 feet or 14,000 feet.
Power 1, clear to Denver International Airport.
So if I'm expecting runway 29er right,
9,000, expect level 27010 minutes.
Let's look at the approach.
Departure frequency 127.4, squawk 3012.
So, to be honest with you guys, here's the chart for 29er right. This is our approach. We need to put in a heading of 292, and the localizer is 111.3. Touchdown elevation is 333 feet, and
62, contact Denver Tower.
We've most certainly already done most of that. So let's look here. We need 111.3, which is already on that side.
Envoy 318, fly heading 110, and when able, reduce speed to 210.
Heading 110, and the speed will do 210, Envoy 318. Alright, so we're going to reduce some speed now, and let's fly the heading of 110. So, to the left we go, to the left, only we're not dipping. If anybody knows what song I'm talking about. If you don't, sorry, probably too young. Alright, so we're reducing speed.
San Francisco altimeter 3023.
Now, one thing that we need to do while all this is happening is we need to come over here
The altimeter
and look at our performance. Right now we're at 38,970 pounds. I'm gonna assume landing is 38. We'll say 38.7. So if you come here, 38,700. Oops. 38,700 is going to be our anticipated landing weight. So here's our landing speeds. So not a big disparity between flap 22 and flap 45. So we may hit it at flap 22. And the winds weren't bad at all. So if you look here, what she's done, we are landing runway 29 right because we're downwind. So let's pull that power back because we're still going way too fast. But right now, essentially, we are parallel to runway 29 right, downwind at this point. That is what's happening. So another thing that we're going to want to do, let's go ahead and get our aircraft following the nav. And you can see the ILS right here. And 292 is the heading. So the ILS information is already set in for us. So we will continue our descent. Alright. What do you use for multiplayer? I want to reuse X-Plane. I want to use multiplayer and X-Plane, but I don't know how to. And I'm not very versed in how to use X-Plane multiplayer feature. Again, I just usually stick to VATSIM or PilotEdge. Alright, anyway.
Roger.
Alright, everything is looking good so far. If we get on final, we can always change our anticipated landing weight.
Thank you. May descend past discretion, maintain 8,000.
Alright. I'm going to help the aircraft slow down a little bit. There we go. I just put on the speed brakes there. You can see it right here. Now it's going down.
104, Roger. Crimson City altimeter 3023.
And we still need a little bit of it. Alright, still on. I just reduced it a little bit. About 215.
104, clear direct chide, cross chide at 16,000 or above. Cleared VOR runway 12 approach and report established on approach course.
Alright, report established on approach course.
Alright.
Cross chid at or above 16,000 Piedmont.
Alright.
6104.
Our vertical speed indicator should be coming up.
Contact for Fresno approach 119.6.
Over to the NorCal approach 119.6 for Envoy 318. Alright. So now we're going to throw some power back in.
So 1306 Charlie, executive tower, runway 20, clear for
there we go. Now we need to go to 119.6.
CGMWT, contact Seattle Center 126.6.
Okie dokie. We have information hotel.
Skywest 4633, fly present heading, descend and maintain 9,000.
Present heading down to 9,000, Skywest 46.
NorCal approach Envoy 318 at 14,000. We have information hotel. Alright.
Envoy 318, Fresno approach, descend and maintain 6,000. Do you have approach request?
We can do the, I see it's modified VFR, but we saw the field, so we can do the visual or ILS runway 29 right.
Walker 318, turn left.
And I believe she said 6,000. We'll verify that.
335. When able, clear direct Sango, Sierra Alpha, November, Golf, Oscar.
Alright, here we go.
Cross Sango at 4,000 or above. Cleared ILS, runway 29 right approach. Envoy 318, copy.
Ground, southwest 1180, like to push back onto Alpha.
Envoy 318, you copy?
I did not. I was stepped on. Could you repeat again for Envoy 318?
Envoy 318, I will turn left, heading 330. When able, clear direct Singo, Sierra Alpha November Golf Oscar. Cross Singo at 4,000 or above, cleared ILS, runway 29 right approach.
Okay, 330 on the heading at single, descend and maintain 4,000, cleared ILS, runway 29 right approach for Envoy 318.
Southwest 1180, Albuquerque ground.
Alright, so let's do our heading here at 330.
SkyWest 4633, fly heading 080.
Heading 080, SkyWest 40.
Alright, now we can also go down to 4,000.
Thanks for your patience. Cleared San Francisco International.
And she said we are going to be direct Sango. So now we just come in here and do direct, and we're going to do Sango. Click that, execute that, and now we can hit our nav.
It cleared San Francisco, Seattle 7, Seattle, then it's filed, climb maintain 9,000, 330.
So our LNAV is armed, and then we just hit the FMS button. And now we are direct Sango, and we're going down to 4,000, of course. We're a little bit above the speed. Alright, we are getting ready to pass below 10,000. And there you go, folks. Now we are direct Sango. And you can see we got that in 22 nautical miles, and we need to be at 4,000. So not doing too bad, straightened it up.
SkyWest 4633, fly heading 140 to the localizer.
Alright, here we go. A little bit of a belabored arrival because the air traffic controller wasn't on time vectoring us, but that's okay. Let's look forward and see what that looks like.
SkyHawk 918 for IFR to Taos.
Alright, once the aircraft straightens up, we're going to throw it back into the heading mode, and we are going to put on our localizer, and we'll take it in from that way.
Skyhigh 918, I don't think you're logged in under that call sign. Could you verify that and verify your flight plans filed under that?
Let's go ahead and step that speed down. But before we do that, let's come back here and go back one page.
SkyWest 40.
So we are still at 38. So what did I anticipate? 38.7? That's pretty good. So I like that. I most certainly like that. So we're looking at roughly about 134.
6.5 miles from Kurt. Maintain 9,000 till established localizer, cleared ILS, runway 16 left approach.
Maintain.
Alright, let's slow us down slightly.
ILS 16 left, SkyWest 40.
CGMWT, Seattle Center, not sure if you had a chance to check in there. Seattle altimeter 3015.
Now one thing that's going to help us maintain our speed, once I slow us down here, I'm going to extend our flaps 9 right now. Flaps 9 speed check. That's going to add some extra drag on the aircraft. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten out that heading again, and we're going to go back into the heading mode, and we're going to take this back into the nav mode where it's back onto our ILS.
318, cross Sango at 3,000, and you're cleared straight in runway ILS, runway 29 right approach.
Cross single at 3,000, and we're cleared ILS approach 29 right for Envoy 318. Alright, so let's go plug in the tower frequency. Tower frequency is 118.2. So let's go here really quick and get 118.2 in there. A lot going on. Alright, 118.2 is thrown in standby. Now let's also go back down and go back to our perf. A lot going on here, folks, so we can make sure those V speeds are visible. Alright, so we got our nav on. Let's cycle through nav 2, VOR 2, nav 1, ILS. 292 is the heading. Let's go ahead and arm the approach mode. Alright.
Walker 118, your radar contact 17 miles west of Carlsbad. Crossbound altimeter 3013.
Again, the heading is on.
And you are cleared to Kilo Hotel, Mike November Airport as filed. Maintain
There we go.
Descend past discretion, maintain flight level 240.
Heading. Let's do our approach mode again. I don't know what happened there. Oh, okay. I see what it does. It makes the L nav even though we're on approach. Let's see. ILS, pit, localizer, nav. So that's good.
Envoy 318, report established localizer.
We will report established localizer for Envoy 318. Alright, so
Legion 383, contact Embraer approach 12.
We're getting ready to naturally start slowing down because we're about to level out at 3,000.
120.35.
And then once we're established,
4633, contact Embraer tower.
alright, let's let the plane bleed some speed. Okay, so our VREF is 129, so we're going to do 134. We're going to do 134 as our approach speed. Let me write that down. Alright, 134 is our approach speed. We're bleeding speed natively here as I wanted to. Alright, let's keep that up a little bit. You can hear those engines kicking in slightly. You can see a little bit of a cloud layer. We'll keep it about 170. Let's go ahead and reduce this here. Let's go back up check. Landing lights are all on along with taxi lights, nav, red beacon, and strobe. Good to go. Alright, and this is less than a 30-degree angle here, so we should get that ILS just nicely. You can see here, it is all armed, so you can see this is the glide slope. Here's our speed doing good, and we are absolutely still to the right of the localizer, or to the left of the localizer. That's why this is to the right. Once we get closer to that, this should start moving over, and then obviously capture that localizer. So we'll see how this works out. Alright folks, once we get established, we'll go ahead and bleed some more speed. And if we look here, we can tell that our next flap speed at 22, we need to be below 200 knots. So we are well below 200 knots.
And we're flying with Zulu.
So actually we'll add that drag on right now.
CGMWT, Seattle approach, thanks for Zulu, Payne.
Getting more drag, so I'll have to throw on some power.
And where do you want to pick up the approach from?
From Payne VOR, Charlie Golf Mike Whiskey.
CGMWT, roger, descend and maintain 6,000, expect VOR Alpha approach.
6,000 and expect VOR Alpha approach, Charlie Golf Mike Whiskey Tango.
This is still not on the move, which we are getting pretty close. It should be on the move by now. If not, I'm going to go ahead and turn us to a heading of 300. We'll keep that speed. Alright, and you can see those clouds they were talking about are kind of blocking our visual approach.
Contact Albuquerque Center 124.32.
So for whatever reason, it has not come alive yet. Oh, there it goes. It's moving. I lost a little bit of faith. Localizer is captured. The needle's moving. Fresno approach, or as you were, NorCal approach, Envoy 318 has captured the localizer.
Envoy 318, thank you. Contact Fresno Tower.
Over to Fresno Tower, Envoy 318. Alright, so we did that smooth enough.
Runway 8, taxi via Alpha.
8 via Alpha, Tower.
The glide slope will be coming down here in a minute.
118, Albuquerque Center. Holloman altimeter 30. Correction. 29er 8, approach close.
See the aircraft correcting. Our glide slope is on our way down. Here we go. Fresno Tower, Envoy 318, ILS 29er right.
Okay, 118 is going to maintain 2000. Envoy 318, Fresno Tower, runway 29er right, clear to land.
29er right, cleared to land, Envoy 318. Alright folks, here we come to make this money. You guys ready to do this? We are inbound Fresno, California. Here we come. Alright, we're going landing gear down.
And monitor ground, have a great day.
And we're going to be landing flaps 22 today.
Monitor ground, Skywest 46.
And we are already at flaps 22. Our approach speed will be 134.
Contact Denver Tower.
And Kurt, contact Tower, Legion 383.
Alright, let's see if we have our landing gear down. We do have 3 green, flaps 22, approach speeds are checked, VREF is 129, approach speed will be 134. All of the landing lights are on with taxi lights, and altimeters are set. Missed approach, observed, and we are inbound. Here we go. This is where we make our money. Let me sit up in my seat, straighten my hat. Alright folks, you can hear those engines screaming. Everybody's in the back. Oh, are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make it? Alright, look at that sun shining through, beaming off that flap. Beaming off that flap. Anyway, you guys don't try that at home. Natively, we're bleeding speed, and everything is looking good. I'm going to leave this on here until I get a little bit more visibility.
Report out for cancellation of Mr. Bridge Airport in this frequency. You're on the ground within 5 minutes of landing.
Alright, we're just about 10 over. Alright, welcome Mateo Lopez. Bienvenidos a este vuelo. Vamos a Fresno. I'm just kidding. Welcome to the stream, my brother. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking in, everybody. Thanks for hanging on while we make this descent into the Fresno area. I do have a little bit of a good visual of the runway, so I think at that point, folks, and we're at our target speed, folks, I think we go ahead and disconnect autopilot. And let's go ahead and bring it in. We've checked everything, and it's my controls. We're slightly fast. Let's bring it down.
Walker 306, 3 miles to the southeast of Mike Echo Romeo at 7,500, looking to pick up I-4 to Burbank.
Alright.
306, squawk 5233 at M.
5233 and at M, Walker 306.
Let's bring that speed down slightly. Alright. Alright, we're going to nose up slightly. There we are, so that we ensure we stay on that glide path.
Okay, 306, your radar contact, 900 miles northwest of El Nido, VOR, and emerged altimeter 3025.
500.
Clear to Burbank, Bob Hope Airport as filed. Climb and maintain flight level 190, expect flight level 230.
Roger, cleared to Burbank, Bob Hope Airport is filed, climbing to flight level 190, expect flight level 230, Walker 306.
Of course, there's always trees right above the runway next plane.
Report on final, Charlie, got my whiskey tango.
Minimums.
Alright, we got minimums. We're under V approach, but above VREF.
Albuquerque ground, southwest 1180s on Alpha, ready for taxi, information Echo.
Southwest 1180, runway 8, taxi via Alpha, thanks for Echo.
8 via Alpha,
50.
Southwest 1180.
10.
Alright, we buttered that.
Alaska, 219.
We're okay with that.
Taxi with that train.
Reversers are on.
Alaska 1019, Seattle grounds, runway 16.
We are bleeding speed.
Bravo Charlie.
16.
Alright.
Alaska 1019.
So we get to 80, we'll reduce. 80 knots, reverse free. So folks, even though we had a tumultuous approach, we definitely buttered that landing. And we got wheel brakes on, bleeding speed. Let's start cleaning up the aircraft. Flaps are coming up.
310, runway 8, clear for takeoff.
310, I'm heading quick takeoff, runway 8, power 1.
Alright, this looks like a bit of a weird, that's closed, so we gotta go down. So we cannot use that taxiway, we're going all the way down. Alright, let's go ahead and get that APU on. Yeah, we'll get it on here in a second. Let's get a nice little turn on.
Denver Tower, wind 0706, runway 16 left, clear to land.
And it looks like we're gonna have to back taxi here. There is no
Envoy 318. If you want to make a left there, join Bravo 12.
So this scenery must be off. Roger, my scenery doesn't have a taxiway here, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a back taxi there for Envoy 318.
Envoy 318, roger. Just cross runway 200 left on Bravo 12 and contact ground.
Cross runway 29er left on Bravo and then contact ground for Envoy 318. Thanks a lot. Alright, so I don't know what that was about. It said that this one was closed, but it wasn't. They didn't provide us any other exit way, so this is just standard X-way scenery, so just going to do a back taxi.
125.75.
125.75, Vulcan 306.
Albuquerque
All
Tower,
right.
Southwest 1180, runway 8, ready for departure.
We'll come over here to this weird situation.
8, line up and wait. Southwest 1180.
See, look, the scenery's messed up because look at this, but there was no other taxiway, so obviously there's a glitch in the scenery. There's no way a plane would come through here, and there was nothing down there, so that was weird. But clearly, here's a taxiway here, so something is off on that. No problem. We know how things go. Alright, we're still keeping our strobes on. We got another runway to cross, so we're going to look right and look left. And then don't worry, guys, I'll get to you any comments that were made. And then, of course, ground frequency is 1217. So let's slow our roll. Alright.
Female 6104, for cancellation is received. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
So now we're monitoring ground. Again, we're not going to do a replay on this one just because I don't want the sim to mess up for whatever reason. We're going to come down to the Passional Terminal and we're going to get ready for a turnaround. Then on the last one, we will do a wonderful landing. Thanks for saying that, honey, for a great landing. Appreciate it. We nailed it for this landing. Dang, landing rate display, it'll show greasy. There we go. I appreciate that. Chief Sim Pilot, just trying to grow up and be like you out there. So we do have a turnaround coming here, folks. We are going to get to the terminal, and then we're going to bust the turnaround really quick so we can get to our final destination today, which is San Francisco. So we'll get over here and get situated, turn our comms off really quick, and get out of here, put some fuel on the bird, all that good stuff. So if you guys want to watch that, that's fine. If not, take a break and come back. I should be ready to have this thing turned around hopefully within 20 minutes from now. And the next runway or airport, we'll do a replay. But let's get in and get out. All right, rolling right down the taxiway.
Let's get to 19 Seattle Tower, runway 16 left, clear for takeoff.
16 left, clear for takeoff. Let's get to 19.
And one thing we forgot to do, let's get those landing lights off now. And that strobe light off, of course. All right. Let's slow our roll. Got to turn that APU on here in a second. Trying to multitask. That's why you need that first officer, folks.
18 Albuquerque clearance.
Sky 918, we're
all right, let's definitely slow our approach speed up here into the ramp. Now let's go up there and get that APU on. All right, APU is starting. Let's come down here and double check that. APU starting, so that way when we shut the aircraft down, we got power. All right, folks, welcome into Fresno.
1180 contact departure.
We will most certainly be headed to San Francisco after this, so we'll get another flight plan ready. We'll initialize the FMS and get it all going again.
918, I'm still not seeing anything showing up under that call sign.
Well, this,
in order to change your
we'll stay on PilotEdge, but we'll have to refile a new flight plan.
Connect first, and then prior to reconnecting.
And then this next flight is super short. We are headed on over to San Francisco, which is fairly close to this location here. It's only about 170 nautical miles.
Okay, we'll try.
All right, we're only going up to 14,000 feet on this next flight. And then we'll be done for the day, folks. So let's pull in here. And do what we do and get her turned around.
Oscar 1019, contact departure.
So now you'll get to see kind of what we do to get the aircraft turned off and turned around.
Albuquerque departure, Southwest 1180, 7,200, climbing 9,000.
Alright, parking brake is set. Let's come over here. First and foremost, let's turn her off. And while we're doing this, we can most certainly get some música going. Alright. There we go. Alright, folks. Now we got some jams going. Let's get her shut down here. Okie dokie. So parking brake is verified and set. Transponder is going to stand by. Alright, folks. The generators are all switched over to the APU, so we're good there. So we just need to come up actually and turn the packs off. Let's turn our bleeds off. We can get APU bleed going. Turn those packs off. Alright. Shutting the engines down. We are all switched over. Let's turn these off now. Get everything off. Now we can most certainly turn the taxi light off and the red beacon, of course. We got our APU going. Alright, let's get that out. We got to get the door open, of course. Let's get that door open. And let's get the generator here going so that we can get this turnaround done. Now we have external power going, so now we can come over here, grab that GPU, turn our APU blade off, turn our APU off. Now we are back on ground power. Let's get those pumps off. We don't need those on, and we can most certainly get that off. Now we are connected to the GPU. Alright, yes. Now what we need to do, folks, is go ahead and our flying time, not bad. Look at that, 1 hour and 5 minutes. Our last flying time was supposed to be 1 hour, I believe, and 2 minutes. So that's not bad, folks. We're going to go ahead and reset that to 0. And we don't want that. We want to reset it again. There we go. So everything's back to 0. And we are on the ground. Let's go out and take a quick peek so we can celebrate getting everybody there safely. You can see we pulled up. Our nose wheel is right on the line, the first line. We did that with you guys. Man, we know how to drive these aircraft. I tell you what, let's get a little, little celebration. All right, enough celebrating. Back on board. The passengers are disembarking. So now we come back over here. We're going to initialize that FMS, and we're going to start plugging in our next flight route. And we're going from Fresno on over to KSFO. Alright, we know we are leaving runway 29 right because we just landed on it. And we are going to be Envoy, continue flight 318, service from Las Vegas all the way to the wonderful San Francisco. Let me go ahead and pull up my flight plan. Again, if you guys need to take a break, use the bathroom. No big deal. This is what we're doing right now. We are getting ready to make our last stop on over to the San Francisco area. Now that we have this programmed in, our flying altitude is going to be 14,000 feet. Boom. Our final cruise is going to be 14,000 feet. Let's come back over here to our, let's see, our MCDU, see our route edit. So we should get rid of those. Let's make sure that that thing is actually going to, we hit initialize. I don't know why I didn't erase that out, but I'm not even worried about that. Let's see what happens over here. So let's go to our departure and arrival. And departure, we are leaving runway 29 right on the Yosemite 3. And that transition is Intel, but looks like there's not any transition. All right, so back to the flight plan. Yosemite 3 Vector. And then after Vector is Intel. Let me read the chart really quick so we can understand why it's saying Vector. All right. Let's make this make sense. And clearly, this is why it says Vector. So this is a very generic departure, essentially 29 right or left, climb heading 292, top altitude assigned by altitude, everything assigned by altitude. Expect clearance filed altitude 5 minutes after the departure. So essentially what we need to know is we need to climb heading 292, and everything else will be assigned by the ATC once we get our flight plan going. So I'm going to plug this in, and then we are also going to file our flight plan and bounce up out of here. Don't forget, we got to get some extra fuel on the plane. So I'll see what my flight plan says on that. And of course, I just accidentally closed down my Navigraph. That's not good. Let's open that back up. All right, there we go. Save the day. All right. Promise you, I'm trying to get this thing turned around in 20 minutes. Okay. So now let's continue with our flight plan piece. Now that I'm done disappearing stuff that I need. So the next waypoint is going to be Intel. All right, November Tango Echo Lima Lima. Invalid entry. Let's see. Let's go back a page. Vector. So essentially, we need to put Intel right here. Let's clear that. Let's see. Intel. Let's see what this wants to do. It's not letting me put it in there. Let's go here. Oh, here it is right here. So now let's do this. Let's delete this weird thing. And let's delete this weird thing. And then now we're moving along. See, it's giving me a hard time. The next one is always. That's Alpha Lima Whiskey Yankee Sierra. After always is Seeds. Charlie Echo Delta Echo Sierra. Boom. And then after Seeds, we've got Adichie. The Adichie. There is no standard terminal arrival into the area. It's just going to be Archie. And of course, it's the one that's 111 nautical miles away, not 6,306 nautical miles away. There we have Archie's in there. And as far as we know, that's pretty much, let's execute that. As far as we know, that's what we need to know right now. We're to Archie and that's it. And then we're direct to the field. So that's that. We have our departure in there already. Let's come over here. Let's make sure we go to the flight plan. So it's got direct San Francisco. So essentially we'll automatically turn direct to the field after that. The rest of the information we'll be putting on as we go. Generally I have no clue where we're landing into, so we'll just leave it native like that. Let's also come back over here into the route MCDU. Let's go to our departure now, and we need to switch this information up. Alright, Fresno Air Terminal, and we're going to select a runway to leave, which of course is going to be 29er right. So like I said, the best thing to do with this is kind of do it on the both. The SID that we're using is the Yosemite 29er right. Let's select that bad boy. And the transition, there is no transition, so that is a true story. And then arrival runway, we don't know that, but the arrival airfield is going to be San Francisco. And let's see what the winds are doing in San Francisco right now, of course, so we can get an idea. Okay, so the winds right now are out of the north, so my best guess on runways. First of all, let me put the flight plan into my Navigraph. Alright, KSFO. And here, I'll just, let's bring this down so you guys can see what I'm doing, so I'm not rude, so you guys know I'm actually working. And then our alternate is Sacramento. And then we're going to create that. And then, of course, we're going to come right over here and we're going to type that route. And that route is, let's see, that departure was the I can't remember what it exactly was, so let me come back over here. And for whatever reason, when I did Navigraph, it didn't recognize, even though the charts are updated, the Yosemite 3. So I'm just going to do a little magic trick here so I don't have to type this. I like magic tricks, especially when it saves time. How about you guys? You guys like some magic tricks? Boom! Magic happening right before your eyes. Alright. We're going to save that. Now that switches our route. And we might as well also... let's go ahead and look at the airport in San Francisco first. And then we'll copy that route into a flight plan for PilotEdge. Alright. So if we look here, winds are out of the north at 300. So I'm assuming... Boy, this is a tough one. I don't know if we're using the runway 1s or the runway 2s, 28s here, because this is either one is, it's a crapshoot. I would assume that we would use this runway here, especially not this one, because this is closer to. So I'm going to assume we're going to use runway 28 right. just for giggles, and we'll see if we can get a Archie transition. So let's select runway, and we're going to select, let's go to the next page, 28 right. And there's no star. Transition is Archie. So we scroll down, 28 right. Let's see, 28 right. ILS 28 right, Archie. Okay, it was the first one. I almost missed that. 28 right, Archie. Let's select that. And again, if it changes, it changes. And then there you go. So let's select that. So all of that is selected in this piece. Now let's come back over here and do the same thing over here. And I think that's the most cumbersome part about this whole thing, is the fact that we have to do it in here. So we're going to do ILS 28 right from Archie, and then we're there is no arrival. Let me see here. I don't know why. Oh, I guess it's got a Yosemite 3 arrival as well. Let me double check that. Oh, and it does. That's funny. So Fresno has a Yosemite 3 departure, and San Francisco has a Yosemite 3 arrival. So I almost was like, whoa. All right, let's check this out, folks. And everything looks good. Direct seed, Archie, Seppin, boom. Of course, we're going to check it out in our flight plan as well. Now let's come over here and do one last thing just to make sure. Let's see, route edit. So I wonder if we come here and just delete that, will it let me do it? Let's see, delete, or let's see, clear. Route not loaded, clear. Okay, back to route. Let's see, add route waypoints. Okay, so let's do that as well. And the first waypoint is actually going to be the Intel, and that's a fix. So November, Tango, Echo, Lima, Lima. Enter that, save. We're on to the next one. The next one's also a fix. It was always. Again, there's a little bit of redundancy here, but this is the way it has to go, so that you make sure that you get that butter landing and get your folks where they need to go appropriately. Now we're going into seeds. Oops. Backspace, seeds. Booyah. Save that, and then after seeds, of course, is Adichie. And then we'll throw some fuel in, file our flight plan with PilotEdge, and we out. All right, save that. Now we can come back over here. Let's look at the route edit, Intel, always, seeds, and Archie. I do love it. I do like it. Let's get more of it. All right, here we go. So now that this is all done, we can look at our legs. Now what we want to do, now this vector is going to throw us off, and what we're seeing here, because we don't have a vector, we just know we need to leave heading 292. So here's another thing that we're going to do. We're also going to come to the autopilot feature and just plug that in now. 292, our target altitude is we have to wait to get our clearance, so we're getting ready to shut this music off here. The last thing I need to do is figure out how much fuel we need. We need 5,163 pounds of fuel, so now we have to come over here and we need to make that adjustment. We need to customize our fuel here. So now we have 38, so now we need to go back up to 163, 5232. That's good enough. This plane doesn't burn anything at all. We'll just do 5. Oop, that's a little bit under actually. Let's do one click over. Nah, that's what we'll stay with. Boom. Let's apply those changes. Now the aircraft has most certainly gotten that fuel on board, and that is good. So now what we need to do is let's check our flight plan out first to make sure it looks good. So we're going to go to the full plan mode, and as you can see here, we are already looking somewhat good here. Let's check that flight plan again. There's going to be a discontinuity. So when it doesn't do that, all you got to do is hit execute, and then we'll go back. And I've learned that about this aircraft. If it's not moving and you have the plan in, you just come back over there, go to execute, and let's start this over again. So it looks like a pretty fluid flight plan. I like it all the way in. And we'll do it all over again. There's the start. We'll vector. First waypoint. You see a discontinuity there. Then it gets back into Intel. So we're essentially going to get vectored to Intel. So there's no worries there, folks. So that looks good. The system likes it. Back to the planning mode, or to the full plan mode here. And again, we want to follow the FMS, so we click on FMS. Now we're back to FMS, and let's go ahead and shut the music down and get our ATIS. All right, music is coming off, so we can get out of here. I don't know if anybody timed me, but hopefully that was a 20-minute turnaround. Anyway, we are going to be good to go again. Now let's do one thing here. We need to look at our V speeds. So let's come back over here and go to our performance page. Now you see our V speeds are back in here. Let's verify the amount of fuel that we have. With payload weight, it's going to roughly stay the same. We did put 5,253 pounds of fuel on there. So now we are at trim 3.1. We need to go up to 7 up, but we can't do it because the hydraulics are off. We don't have the APU running right now. So let's assume that after clearance, the passengers are boarded. We'll close the door after clearance. So let's file our flight plan with PilotEdge. And so the way we've got to do that, I switched accents on you. The way we've got to do that, or I could go to a country accent for you. The way we got to do that right here. No disrespect to anybody. That's just the way I see it. And then we need to plan our better pushback. So let's go to our flight plan and let's switch some stuff up here. We are going from Fresno on over to the San Francisco, and then of course we can just get rid of this piece and hit paste. Bam, the easy street. Again, flying a jet like this it's hilarious. We're only going to do 14,000 feet. We're still planning on that, and Sacramento is actually our alternate. And the flying time, folks, for this one, whoo, it's a long one, 35 minutes. So we're doing 35 minutes. We essentially still have about 2 hours and 55 pounds of fuel on board. Let me verify that so I'm not making a liar out of myself. 2 hours. Okay, so 2 hours and 27 minutes, if we're being exact. So we've got 2 hours and 25 minutes of fuel, 35 minutes en route, 0 hours. The alternate is Sacramento. We're the true airspeed is going to be 450, altitude 14,000 feet, and Fresno to San Francisco with this aircraft, which technically we could also put E45X, but I just put E145, tomato, and let's file that right there. Okay, now we need to go ahead and get our charts back up, and let's get it on the correct chart, as I was on San Francisco, since we pre-planned for runway 28 right. Now let's see if that actually comes true. All right, back over here to our chart, and let's go ahead and listen to the ATIS. Is 12135. What we got over here? 12135 is already in the standby, so let's tune in. So I had COM 1 and COM 2 off. Now we're going to turn it on. We'll hear some noise.
Fresno Air Terminal, ATIS Information India, 0253 Zulu, wind calm, visibility 5, haze, ceiling 2000 broken, temperature 7, dew point 4, altimeter 3025, arriving and departing runways 29er left, 9er right, ILS runway 29 right and RNAV runway 29 left approach and use. VFR departures comp. Alright, we got what we needed. The altimeter has literally changed 1 point over from 3 to, and that's just since we've been here. So not too bad. And we have information India, so let's make sure that changed. And then of course let's go over to our standby. And I like this plane. I mean, in real life you would change them all and you got your first officer, but in real life you got a first officer and we don't. So I like the fact that this plane does that. Unfortunately, it's a little cheat. Now, one thing we need to do here, we can't forget about our pressurization, so our people don't have to worry about hypoxia or getting too pressurized. Let's get our cruising altitude down to 14,000 feet. And let's go ahead and get our clearance. We should be getting a lot more information on this clearance because we simply need to get vectors and altitude, which that's not provided to us in our standard instrument departure. So the clearance frequency here for Fresno is 24.35. So 24.35. We'll just use this right here. We're going to go 24, and then we're going to pipe in 35, and then of course we're going to get a new squawk code more than likely. So 124.35, and now we can come back over here and put this in and ask for our clearance. But before we ask for our clearance, let's go ahead and come over here and plan our better pushback.
Alright, and from where we came on, I think that would be copacetic. Let's see here. Do we want to face that way? And absolutely we do. So,
alright, Captain, got the directions. Let me know through the menu when you're ready.
Okay, let him know through the menu when he is ready. And let me double check one more thing before we call for our clearance, of course. Alright, we are still Envoy 318, no problem there. Fresno clearance, Envoy 318, IFR to San Francisco. So we'll stand by.
Envoy 318, Fresno clearance, clear to San Francisco International Airport, Yosemite 3, departure, Clovis, direct always, as filed. Maintain 10,000, expect 14,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 119.6 and squawk 3365.
Clear to San Francisco, Yosemite 3, departure, Clovis, then direct always, climb and maintain 10,000, expect 14,000, 10 minutes after departure, departure frequencies 19.6, squawking 3365, Envoy 318.
Envoy 318, read backtrack. Sorry, 3280.
Alright, so now we can shut that off for now. So we got our clearance. I told you it was going to be a little bit more detailed. And the only thing here that I'm questioning is Intel. She said Clovis. And we don't have that Clovis VRR in there. So I'm going to go to my Sky Vector and just find out where Clovis is at. And just make sure. So essentially, instead of us getting a heading, she gave us direct Clovis, basically. Yosemite 3, so 293, then she wants us to go to Clovis. And, well, actually, essentially, let me check my chart here on the departure and see what Clovis is, because we're going to have to add that in. Let's see, FMG, Friant. Okay, Clovis is, so essentially, she wants us to take out heading 290 or 292, and then Clovis. So I wonder if she's going to vector us to Clovis, or does she want us to go direct to Clovis? Let's see, taking off 292. Actually, yeah, we can take off and be direct Clovis, and then direct always. So that makes sense, what we can do here is Clovis, and that is a CZQ, that is a VOR. So vector Clovis, and then we can delete the vector. Let's see, actually, hang on, let's cancel the mod really quick, because we want it vector. Let's delete that again. I don't know why. Let's go into the route piece and see if we can make that happen. So we can fix that. So let's go into flight plan, Yosemite 3 vector. Oh, okay, so here's what we'll do. To make this simple, we are gonna put the Clovis here, and we'll get rid of something. So CZQ, you always gotta outsmart these things. And then of course it says and then that's easy. We're gonna say always. And just come right back over here and execute that, and now we have that change. So we'll vector ourselves, but essentially there's the 292, and then pretty much going straight to Clovis is heading 104. So we'll see if, because essentially once we take off, she's going to have to vector us to Clovis than always. So she's going to have to give us that vector. So we'll stay runway heading until she says otherwise, because we have to be vectored. So there you go. And we've got our fuel. Let's get our APU going. And we'll essentially turn our red beacon back on. You can hear the APU laboring the aircraft, so we are ready to go. I don't know if that was 20 minutes or not, but we're going to do our best to make up for that. Again, you can see there's where the pitch is, but we need it to be 7 up. Alright, so APU is up and running. See who we got here. All right, APU is up and running, so essentially we can just turn that GPU off. Let's turn our pumps back on, and let's get our hydraulic pumps on, and let's open that APU bleed up. And windshield heat we can get on now. We'll leave the packs off until we start the aircraft. And now that we have that on, remember we've talked about that trim. Trim here says we need to be 7 up. So we're going back to 7 up. And again, we do have the right weights. There's our fuel, there's our payload. This is our aggregated weight at 39,000 pounds, 39,800. So we're doing good there. And we'll be taking off flaps 1, and we have the TRS, or the thrust, set up for takeoff 1. And essentially, it's already back in takeoff 1 there mode, but we can just come over here and hit that again. And everything there is good to go. So let's go ahead and call for our pushback up. Let's make sure our door is closed. Let's see, now that we have the generator, we did, okay, it's available, so we can get rid of that, and we can also close the cabin door. The cabin will be secured. And then now we can go for the pushback, but we almost forgot. We almost forgot to switch our squawk code. Squawk code is 3365. And now we'll go to 65 here. Alright, squawk code 3365 in the house. We can go ahead and put that on right now. I'm satisfied with that. And let's go for a better pushback.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Alright, so that red beacon is on. The nav light is still on. Everything else is up top is off. The logo light is on. Passenger seat belts and signs are on. Let's just give those a quick flick. Wrong one. Alright, we do have the tow coming up. Wherever he may be coming from, I don't see him yet. And I don't think he's... Oh, there he's just driving right through the wall. And guys, we're headed on over to our last and final destination here for this Envoy Flight 318. Let's look for a heading. The heading has got a heading of 280 right now. But our heading is 292, so we're all good there. We've got our trims situated, so now while the tow is driving up, let's go ahead and perhaps this time...
Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Let's go through this checklist. Okay, descent, we don't need that. Pre-flight, we don't need that. Engine startup. APU's on, hydraulic pumps will be off, packs are off, of course. Engine bleeds are off, APU bleed is on, light on. I like that light off.
You got that winching strap
engine 1, 2
Go ahead, let go of the
seconds,
parking brake
APU.
when you're ready for a push.
Alright, everything is going to be copacetic there. Let's get that parking brake down. And so we're good to go. Let's also set our MCP altitude of 10,000. That's our initial climb. And we'll keep the speed under 250, of course. Flight directors are on. Target altitude is set. Runway heading course of 292 is in there.
Light them up.
Alright. And we'll light them up once we get pushed back, of course. Sometimes I don't understand why they started pushing me back at an angle. That's funny. But however he does it, as long as he gets his turn the right way, I have no problems there. And there he goes with his turn. Let's go back and see what you guys are looking at. Alright, that's happening. Let's go ahead and get our comms back on, and let's get our frequencies all set.
2644 in the box for representative.
Good thing is we know 1217 is ground, and I believe tower is 118.2. Let me check that out on my chart. Let me get you guys a view here while I'm doing that.
Upgrade ground, Southwest 280.
All right. So,
Southwest 180, thank you.
Tower is 1182. I was correct, and our departure is 11906.
Via Alpha.
Runway 8 taxi via Alpha, Southwest 280.
0 Alpha November, you ready for
I always put our departure in here just in case.
Request taxi 0 Alpha.
So we have the appropriate frequencies there.
Runway 8 taxi Alpha, and echoes current.
Alright, so again, for our autopilot, we're going to put it in the heading mode, which we already have set up for 292. And then we're also going to put it in the vertical speed mode. And let's see, we're going to get nose up about 2,200 feet again.
Southwest 1180, fly heading 350 to join the Blue Mesa 038 radial. Join
just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Join the arrival. You'll be joining outside.
Parking brake is set, and you can look out here. There's Alpha right there. So if she gives us a taxi Alpha, that's the way to go to Alpha. So we'll be making a left there. All right, now we can go ahead and get these engines back on. We're going to start number 2, of course.
1180, descend Alpine discussion, maintain flight level 240.
All right. Not a bad turnaround. You can see we got rotation on the right engine. Let's go back up and get that dust cover closed. All right, heading on over to San Francisco on this Envoy Flight 318 full service from Las Vegas, stopping in Fresno. Final destination is San Francisco. All right, turning it on, and let's make sure we got rotation on the left engine, which we do, so we're doing good. Go ahead and put that bad boy up into the closed position.
Power 1.
Let our left engine come up and stabilize.
Cross powder at maintain flight level 190 and expect south.
You can see stuff extinguishing there. All right, engine looks good and started. Let it stabilize off. Let's go ahead and turn our packs on and our bleeds. You can see it turns the APU bleed right on off. And now that that's done, we can go ahead and shut our APU off, and it'll switch over because our generators are already activated. Now let's come down here, folks, and let's set our flaps for takeoff. You can see now flaps lever is going to 9. Let's make sure it's indicating. Now it's 9. Our trims are up to 7. And we are ready to taxi, folks.
Pacific runway 8 and on departure correction heading 310.
Here we go, here we go. Just wait for them to stop talking so I can get our taxi clearance. Wish I could tell you there was something else special in there, but it's just water. All right. Fresno ground Envoy 318 pushback from the terminal. Information India ready to taxi.
Envoy 318 Fresno ground, runway 29er right, taxi via Alpha, Bravo 3, Bravo.
29er right, Alpha, Bravo 3, Bravo for Envoy 318. Alright, so now here's the problem. I got to look at my chart. I got to make sure we actually have that. So if we come here, essentially where we're at, slide to the right, we want Bravo 3. We'll cross Bravo 3. Okay, Bravo 3 to Bravo, I see, all the way down to Bravo. So hopefully that works. Alright, pretty easy taxi. Let's go, folks. Let's get out of here. Let's go ahead and get our taxi light on. Again, our red beacon is on, strobe is off. We're ready to go. Without further ado, looking good. Alright, let's do our flight controls check. Full up, full down, aileron left, aileron right, rudder left, and rudder right. Alright, folks, parking brake is released. Let's go flying. Again, flying time here, not too long at all. Taxi light is on. We're going to be looking for Bravo 3 here. Alright, so this is Bravo 3 coming up here. Let's slow our roll a little bit. We'll do a quick left and a quick right, and that'll have us on Bravo, and that'll take us all the way to runway 29 right. So the other end of the scenery didn't work out so well, but I think we got this covered. See, there's Bravo. I think last time I decided to land flaps 22, but if I would have landed full flaps, essentially we would have had and made the probably the first taxiway before that one that said it was closed. Alright, now we should be able to take this all the way over to 29 right, which again is the primary runway. She said cross 29 left. Once we get a little closer, we'll switch those radio frequencies. And again, guys, this is a really short hop on over to the San Francisco area. Hopefully they have the right runway that we're forecasting. Alright, we're cruising. Let's see what this taxi speed is. Taxi speed is 27 knots. That's legal. Looks like we're speeding up though. Slow it down a little bit. There's the base of runway 29 left. Right there. Alright, that's the Air National Guard area over there. Their hangars. We'll stay clear of them.
Oakland clearance. This is November 33 Tango Whiskey Type, Columbia 400. The departure out of Oakland. Altitude 5,500. Flight phone.
Alright, there's the base of 29 left. We're essentially just going up and around it. There's a run-up area over there if you are a piston aircraft or a turboprop. Alright, here we are at runway 29 right.
Albuquerque departure, November 980, Alpha November 9000.
Alright. Parking brake is set for the time being. Let's come down over here, switch to tower frequency, and let's get our departure frequency 119er. 0.6. Programmed in, that's our departure frequency, and we are ready to go, folks. Let's do a quick checklist here. Not that I need to do it, but let's double check here, because we should all be doing it. Before takeoff, minimum fuel quantity, takeoff briefing, ice protection tested, brakes temperatures check, ECAS check, transponder TAR rate, takeoff configuration check, gust lock, unlock, elevator is checked. So we essentially have checked our trims. Our gust lock is off. All flight data is stored into the computer. And the engine is in the takeoff configuration. And everything has been checked here. ECAS is good. And let's go flying.
Direct tower, November 90 Alpha, thank you.
Fresno Tower, Envoy 318 on Bravo, holding short, runway 29 right, ready for departure.
Envoy 318, Fresno Tower, runway 29 right, clear for takeoff.
29 right, clear for takeoff, Envoy 318. Alright, let's make some money, folks. Let's go ahead and release that parking brake.
Oakland clearance, November 33.
Landing lights are coming on. Strobes are on. Check. Final looks clear. There is no aircraft on the way in. Runway looks clear. Flaps are set to 9. You can see that windsock. The windsock really doesn't agree with this, but that's what the ATIS is saying, so that's what we're doing. Alright, we are on runway lined up. Takeoff power is absolutely set.
T-1 6104, release for departure,
airspeed's alive, 80 knots.
Intentions at 1 minutes from now to time 0404, change to advisory frequency approved.
Rotating off the deck, nice and smooth. Let's go 10 degrees up. Landing gear is coming up. Let's dial those engines back. Let's pitch the aircraft down a little bit. She wants to go high.
Number 33 Tango Whiskey, VFR departure.
All right.
Altitude 5,500.
Looking good. Let's go autopilot on. Yaw damper is on by nature. Let's get our
Charlie 400.
taxi light off, and we'll just climb at a nice slow speed here.
Number 33 Tango Whiskey, departure frequency 135.1, squawk 3705.
All right, so essentially we're flying runway heading. Flaps are coming up.
3705.
3705 on Boston 3515. On departure frequency.
Departure frequency 135.1.
Gotta watch that speed.
135.132.
You're back correct.
All right, nice smooth takeoff.
777 Bravo Zulu, number 1 departure direct on correct runway. Air 4 Bravo Zulu is released departure, clearance flight up and off in 5 minutes. It's off in 5 minutes. Advised intentions of the 10 minutes from now. The time 0405 and a half. Change to advisory frequency approved.
Metro 4 Bravo Zulu released for departure.
NorCal departure, Envoy 318 is 4,000, climbing 10,000 on heading of 292.
Envoy 318, Fresno departure, radar contact. Were you handed off the departure, sir?
No, I wasn't. I saw you were a little busy, so I switched over, so that may be my fault. I apologize for that.
Can't do that on your own. Just give me a call next time. It seems like you've been on your own for a little while there, but I knew right where you were. But you can stay at this frequency for now.
Roger, we'll stay where we are at this frequency. Apologies for Envoy 318. Alright, so we got in a little bit of trouble for switching over. I knew I probably shouldn't have, but I did it anyway. So, because sometimes they forget you, sometimes they don't. But we'll take the lashing, because last time I do think she forgot about us.
R1, connect Denver approach.
So I'm okay with that. Again, you fly on PilotEdge, you better have, appreciate that Chiefs and pilot on that rollout. Again, on PilotEdge, you better have a thick skin, be prepared to get chastised and all that stuff. You know, some of it's a problem of sometimes they do forget. It's a simulation world. For the most part, they don't, but I have been forgotten, so I'd rather do what I did to make sure we're on point. But that's what makes it real, though. The fact that they're going to check you if you do something wrong. So a little bit of a chastising there. I kind of knew it was going to come, but you just got to face the music. All right, so we're continuing our climb up to 10,000 feet.
Envoy 318, project always, and contact. Envoy 318, you can just climb maintain 4,000, remain this frequency for now. Get your hand off here in a little bit.
Okay, direct always, remain this frequency up to 14,000, Envoy 318.
D-Mon 610.
Okay, so now we have our, we're up to 14,000. We're going to remain this frequency. Now what we're going to do is come right down here, go direct, and we're going to go direct to always. We're going to execute that. And then now all we got to do is put our nav on, and the aircraft is going to turn towards always.
Terminal tonight, you going to the
and then we'll be able to turn our landing lights off here in a minute and continue our climb.
Power 1, you can expect the ILS runway 17 red.
After flight level or 10,000 feet, I can go ahead and go to a higher speed. Alright, 10,000 feet's achieved. Let's get those lights off. All lights up top are off. Strobe, red beacon, nav are on. Logo's on. Now we can increase speed slightly. And the good thing is I'm not going to make any other adjustments. 14,000 feet is our cruise. Alright, now we want to make sure, one thing I didn't do, got to get this thing into the climb and then we'll get it into cruise. I should have put it into the climb first, but I didn't. Big deal. Everything is looking good. Again, thanks everybody for staying on board. This is just a short one here.
We're 980 Alpha November, Albuquerque Center, climb maintain for level 270.
Alright, and let's decrease the rate of our climb.
Center radar contact. And stage 4 Bravo Zulu, climb maintain for level 230.
Climb at about 17,000. We're getting pretty close to our target altitude.
1180, contact Denver approach, 120.35.
I slowed it down to about 1,500 feet per minute. That way we don't egregiously nose down for the passengers. Since we are only climbing up to 14,000 feet, let's increase our range.
Alpha at San parking. Looking for a west departure. Taxi with Hunter Zulu.
Alright, so we are doing good.
20 Alpha, Farmington ground, runway 25, taxi via Alpha.
We did forget to do our en route timer.
25 via Alpha, 62 Alpha.
Let me see if we got that started or not.
Denver approach, good evening. How are you? Southwest 1180, flight level 190. Southwest 1180, Denver approach, Denver altimeter 3029. I think you said you had Kilo. Thank you for that. Expect ILS runway 17 left approach.
Alright, so we didn't do so hot on our times.
We have Kilo, Southwest 1180. 216-2104, climb maintain for level 230.
And he'll probably give us a new altimeter setting here soon.
Station 4 Bravo Zulu, climb maintain for level 230.
Alright, just double checking again. Gear up, flaps up, everything is looking good.
Jackson ground, good evening. Walker 380, I'm to the Cheyenne.
Alright, we are at 14,000 feet.
Power 1, descend to maintain 90,000.
So now we'll just keep the speed right around 300 knots here. Again, I'm managing the throttles manually. There is no autopilot on board.
380 Jackson ground, clear to the Cheyenne Airport.
Okay, very short flight. So what we're going to do now, again, thanks everybody for flying on board. We're going to go ahead and check the ATIS. Well, actually, I'm going to start getting charts up for San Francisco.
Go to Cheyenne Regional, Alpine 2 departures, west transition, and S-Dog, Highway Acidic 715,000. Frequency 123.25.
Alright.
Walker 380.
Walker 380, read back correct.
Okay, got the charts open for San Fran. So the ATIS there. There's several ATISes, but it looks...
1185 present heading at vectors ILS runway 16 left final approach course. Descend and maintain 13,000.
Let's try a 115.8
heading and descend maintain 13,000
for the ATIS.
Southwest 1180.
Good clearance, Southwest 288, disconnected my previous clearance filled out.
Okay, so definitely not 115. It's got to be 118.85.
Affirmative, the squawk was 3350.
Roger, thanks.
Alright, 1885 is, now you can see that puts right into the secondary.
Connect NorCal approach 120.95.
NorCal approach 20.95, Envoy 318. Alright, 120.95.
Zulu, contact the Denver Center, 127.02.
Oakland Tower, November 36, Tango Whiskey, Oakland Short 28, right, ready for departure.
November 33 Tango Whiskey, Oakland Tower, flying runway heading, runway 28 right, cleared for takeoff, winds 1103.
28 right, cleared for takeoff, fly runway heading, 3 Tango Whiskey.
NorCal approach, Envoy 318, 14,000.
Envoy 318, NorCal approach, roger, stand by a second.
Alright.
Envoy 318, Modesto altimeter 3026.
3026 on the altimeter, Envoy 318. Alright.
R1, turn left heading 350.
So, let's go for 3026 on the altimeter. Now the reason why we're getting a different altimeter setting now, even though we're at our cruise, is because we're under 18,000 feet. Over 18,000 feet, the altimeter, once again, what you hear us pilots say all the time, and sim pilots, it'll be 29902, but because we are basically flying underneath the transition altitude, that's why we're going to monitor the closest altimeter, which is Modesto. Alright, everybody, again, thanks for staying on board. Very short flight. You can almost see right here, we're almost done with the flight right there. So if we increase it, you see we're almost there already. So very short flight, folks. That's why we only flew at 14,000 feet.
190 Alpha, Walker 380.
Now, if I'm planning, trying to stay ahead of the aircraft for ILS 28 right, ILS 28 right, the localizer is 111.7. So let's go over here to the radio page. and do just that. 111.7.
Left heading 350, southwest 1180.
Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Actually, I meant for it to go here and for it to switch over there. And we'll throw it over here in the standby as well, so both sides reflect 111.7, 111.7, 111.7. Approach course is 284.
We're currently at 3 miles and missed a few scattered layers. We're advertising the ILS.
Let's see if we can get ATIS.
That otherwise, you can see the visual. Yeah, we can see the visual. Power 1, you should visual approach from 17 right. You can turn the base to your discretion.
Thanks so much, the visual 17 right, Power 1.
San Francisco International Airport. ATIS information Oscar. 0356 Zulu. Windcom. Visibility 10. Sky condition. Clear. Temperature 11. 2.4. Altimeter 3024. Arriving runways 28 right. 28 left. Departing runways 1 right. 1
Power 1, come back Denver Tower 133.3.
Okay, so our forecast is right. Information, the weather information there is Oscar, and altimeter is 3024, and we are expecting runway 28 right. What's up, business partner, big brother, best friend, Chad Talbot is on the stream. Thanks for checking us out. We are almost to our last destination, which is San Francisco. This is Envoy Airlines Flight 318 service from Las Vegas all the way to San Francisco. We made a stop in Fresno. Those passengers continue on, stayed on. Boom. And now we're headed from Fresno to San Francisco. For those who don't know what we look like, let's get a quick flyby. Alright, there's the flyby. This is what we look like here. I tell you, it's loud out there. And for those that are joining us, let's also go back and see what the cabin looks like. It is loud back here. Just like the real aircraft, super loud. Going to the left side. Look down that aisle. Look up. Alright, anyway, enough of that. Again, those watching, thanks for joining. We are inbound into the San Francisco area.
Piedmont 6104 Oakland Center, climb and maintain for level 290.
Alright. Cruising right along.
Boeing 980 Alpha November, contact Denver Center 127.02.
Alright. Cruising right along. Let's go down here and check on our legs page. So we're direct always right now, then Seeds, then Archie. So really with all this, we are almost there because this Archie is the transition waypoint into our next landing. How you doing, Lonnie? Thanks for joining us. Hope you are well. We are on our last leg of this flight into the San Francisco area. Again, I always appreciate everybody's support. Happy New Year. We haven't had much time to chit-chat on this flight, but I've most certainly enjoyed flying this aircraft with you guys on board. I tell you what, it's the first time I did a recorded flight in this, and I am enjoying flying the aircraft. So we were able to do a quick turnaround in Fresno. Once we get to San Francisco, we'll watch a replay as well there. And then perhaps after we watch that replay, I may try to go all the way back to our landing in Fresno to see if we can capture that. Maybe not. It was a really nice landing. You can watch it on the stream. There's just no replay of that because I get so paranoid that the simulator is going to do something funky after the replay. Essentially, the approach that we are going to be taking into the San Francisco area is the ILS Cat 2 or 3 for runway 28 right. Before I segue to that, if anybody has any good Happy New Year's news other than whatever negative is on the news, so let's not think about that. If you guys have anything coming up that you want me to blast out, or you just want to say a message, there's the chat. I encourage you guys to check that out or say a blast, and I'll put it out, because you know what? We're going to have a good year this year. I promise you. We are going to have a great year in 2021. Don't let the stigma of 2020 get to you. And I tell you what, if the coronavirus is still here in 2021 and everything else, hey, we're going to get used to it. We're going to adapt. We're going to brush it off. And we're going to keep moving, because that's what we do. That's what we have to do for our younger generation. If you have kids, you got to stay strong for them. So that's what I'm saying. You guys can pump me up. I'm human. I get down in the dumps too. So let's do that for each other. Again, Happy New Year's, everybody.
Archie, cross Archie at maintain 7,000.
Okay, clear direct Archie at Archie. Descend and maintain flight level 7,000, Envoy 318. All right.
Negative Envoy 318, cross Archie at maintain 7,000.
Okay. Correction, cross Archie at maintain 7,000, Envoy 318. Alright, so that just means that language...
Okay, we taxi to the signature?
That language is always very specific.
Taxi signature via Mike and monitor ground.
So we'll go ahead and get our descent going.
Southwest 1180 is going to maintain 7,000.
And again, we're going to start a nice little descent.
7,000, was that for,
about 1,000 feet per minute. Then he said direct Archie, so we need to come here direct. We need to select Archie. We need to throw it here in there direct and hit execute. Now the aircraft is direct Archie, which was pretty much straight ahead, and now we're going down to 7,000 feet. So essentially, we'll also make our nose go down a little bit at 1,800 feet rate. So this is where I've adjusted it. So those controls that I'm messing with on the MCP, I've adjusted us negative 18 feet per minute and set in 7,000 on the target altitude for our primary flight display. Now we have to use the throttles and make sure that we don't overspeed, especially under 10,000 feet. We cannot be any faster than 250, so I'm just going to bring the aircraft's throttles all the way back. As you see, I'm messing in with it. All right. Here we go. No more getting in trouble for air traffic control.
80, 6 miles from Kick Me, maintain 7,000 until establishing the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 left approach.
All right.
Maintain 7,000 until established and cleared ILS 16 left. Or was that 17 left for Southwest 1180? South 1180.
All right. So while we are descending, folks, and bleeding speed, let's go ahead over here to our performance review.
Maintain 7,000 until established Southwest.
And you can see here on our performance, we're right at 38,809 pounds. So now I'm going to estimate that we'll be landing at the same weight. So here's our VREF again. This time I'm going to try landing at flaps 45. We'll see if it makes a difference. If the winds are calm, so essentially our approach speed will be 130 knots. No big deal. Once we get here below 10,000, we'll turn on our landing lights, and let's keep slowing our aircraft down. Knowing this air traffic controller, he's watching me like a hawk, so I better not speed. Again, here in the United States, below 10,000 feet, you have to have your landing lights on, and you can't exceed 250 knots, so let's get that speed down.
Left now, Southwest 1180.
We're in the 250, so we're good. We're at 10,000 pretty much, so let's get our landing lights on. Landing lights are on.
Walker 380 Jackson Tower, runway 19 are cleared for takeoff.
And our V speeds are confirmed.
0304.
Here's our V speeds here, so that's good to go. We are direct Archie. Now what we're going to do is put this in the heading mode, because we have not been given clearance to essentially... We have not been given any clearance to our runway, so I don't want to get us in trouble there. So I just anticipated that that's what we were going to do, but essentially I'll just get on the heading. Technically I could have left it, because we're supposed to go direct to the field, so I can essentially leave it the way it was, which I may, but we'll see, to be on the safe side, what's going to happen. And just to let you know, touchdown elevation there is 13 feet, so basically sea level.
Yes, sir, we're on the localizer here. Thank you, Southwest 1180, contact Denver Tower, 135.3, we'll see you. 135.3.
So now I just switch it over to the nav, and that's ILS 2. We don't want ILS 2. We want ILS 1. There we go, not 2, so there's ILS 1 plugged in. And you can see, now that we're lower, the aircraft's stress rates make it to where we have to go slower in order not to exceed this. Plus, that helps you not to go over the 250, of course. We're almost at 7,000 feet. Alright, so we'll keep present speed. We'll keep bleeding speed. We don't want to go too fast. We'll bring the speed down to about 210. And hopefully we have a better landing.
Southwest 1180, ILS 16 left.
Hopefully we have a better landing.
1180 Denver Tower, runway 16 left, clear to land. And the wind's 0904. 16 left, clear to land, Southwest 1180.
Gonna bring that speed up to about 210. You can hear the engines coming up a little bit as I try to maintain that speed at 210.
Walker 380, contact Salt Lake Center, we'll see you.
Over center, Walker 387.
Alright, landing lights are on along with the taxi. Let's go ahead and figure out what the tower frequency is right now. Tower frequency is 120.5. I'm going to put that in the standby though. 120.5. Because I don't know if we're going to switch to a different frequency other than tower. But if we have to, we'll just switch over to COM 2.
Walker 380, Salt Lake Center, climb in.
So it's in there 120.5 now. Right under my target speed there. San Francisco Tower, yeah, 120.5. And ground is 1218. I'm going to go ahead and program in the ground too, just to be on the safe side. So when we land, if he tells me to switch over to the ground, we can do that. 121.8. is the ground. This is all about staying ahead of the aircraft, folks. That's what that boils down to. And the final approach course is 292.
Alright, where do you want to hold up? I was given my druthers, I'd have you hold over Fisher on the course, so.
Alright, and I was just double checking the ILS code that's in here. The approach heading is not exactly accurate, so it's changed on the chart. The approach heading is 284. Let me show you where I'm getting this information. So look on the chart, the ILS DME 111.7 IGW Quebec approach heading is 284 on final. And it'll also tell you that here, 284. So the aircraft system is slightly off.
Taxi to parking via Foxtrot.
But that's where I'm getting that information from.
Monitor ground 127.5, we'll see you.
127.5, thank you so much for the
ATC
today, Southwest.
And again, everybody, thanks for riding along. We should be landing here against Lonnie, Chad, wife, kids, Mateo, Austin Master, Chief Sim Pilot, Mom.
135.65.
Okay, NorCal approach 35.65, Envoy 318. Alright, so 35.65. So 35.65. And the last weather information there, I believe, was Oscar. NorCal approach, Envoy 318, 7,000 information, Oscar at the field.
Envoy 318, NorCal approach, San Francisco, altimeter 3024, thank you for Oscar. After Archie cleared ILS runway 28 left approach.
After Archie cleared ILS 28 right approach for Envoy 318.
I gave you the left side, do you need the right side?
I have planned for the right side, which I would like to stay with. That's okay. If not, I can sidestep to the left if you want.
Envoy 318 after Archie cleared ILS runway 28 right approach.
Thank you, sir. After Archie cleared ILS 28 right approach for Envoy 318. Alright, so being generous, we're getting along, I like it. So essentially now
I 6104 descend via the Windsor to arrival.
I could essentially throw it in the heading
30 transition.
if I wanted to. The initial approach fix here is Seppin, so essentially I'm just going to throw this back into the nav. Take the heading off, throw nav back on, and we just have to hit FMS, and now it's going to follow the flight plan. and then we'll switch it back over and do what we need to do.
Walker 380, contact Salt Lake Center 135.
So after Archie, we can essentially, since we're cleared ILS 29 right approach, after Archie, we can descend and maintain 3,000 for Sepin. Let's see what that looks like. Archie, Sepin is at 18. Xyled is at 6,000. So we'll be able to do that. The ILS approach.
Walker 380, Salt Lake underclimb and maintain for level 250, clear direct SWAT.
So now, I like our speed. Our next descent will be to 6,000, essentially culminating at Axmal at 1,800. Sepin should be 3,000. So let's get at least down to 3,000, knowing our next point is only to 6,000. So we got localizer, so we'll capture the localizer this way, which it already is, and then we are essentially going to do the glide slope once we're on there. So essentially we're combining an RNAV into an ILS. And then we'll bring the aircraft down to and then now, of course, we know the tower frequency is 1205. So let's get 1205 in the standby on the first side. And now we can most certainly start our descent. So now we're starting to descend to 6,000. We just got to be careful how much we descend, because I'm supposed to cross this next point at 6,000, then 5,000. Let's look at this. See, 6, 5, 4, then 18. So at Dumba. Now at Sepin, on the actual chart, Sepin, we only need to be at 3,000. So again, the information in the aircraft is slightly off. But I think if we keep this profile here, we'll be good to go to at least get to Sepin at 3,000. You can see here, maybe slightly we'll nose down a little bit, and let's bring the power back. And again, you can see that beautiful water out here. We're going to come and have a nice landing on runway 28 right. You can see that beautiful water right there.
Nice, Alpha number mate for level 270.
Nice, gorgeous view. All right. Let's go ahead and deploy flaps 9. That's going to bleed some of the speed for us. Now we're across that at 6,000.
Ground, Southwest 280 taxi with Fox.
Southwest 280 Albuquerque ground, runway 8 taxi via Charlie and Alpha.
All right, all lights are on.
Charlie, Alpha,
Flaps are 9, speeds are checked. Let's come back over here and get our perf speeds in here, of course. Perf 3, our landing speed. We're going to land at full flaps. It's going to be 130. All right, again, tower 25, ground is 121.8. And the terminal will be to the left. So once we land, we need to go left, but we'll be needing to cross a runway first. So let me get my taxi chart so that we know where we're at once we pull off. All right, folks, here we go. All right, folks, now essentially let's go back, square up the heading. Now we could put this back in the nav for the ILS 1. That's ILS 2. We're going ILS 1.
Number 33 Tango Whiskey, contact NorCal approach.
Hit that approach button.
1213, 3 Tango Whiskey.
Localizers captured, and we're going to get the glide slope. So we were doing our own profile pretty good. All right, let's bring it back a little bit. You can see the field over there. Let's go to your first officer side.
Number 33
There's the
Tango
runways right there.
Approach the Monterey altimeter 3024, information CR current.
All right, we're going flaps 22. You can hear those engines roaring up as we start to balance ourselves out. And you can see the glide slope will be coming down. We can even slow our descent down slightly.
Albuquerque Tower, southwest, 280, ready to go, runway 8.
Silos 280, Albuquerque Tower, runway 8, clear for takeoff, wind 0104.
All right, looking good. Let's bring that speed back a little bit now. Start getting back to 130. All right, now if we look, we got Axmole. Once we get to Axmole, then we have essentially not much longer to go until we...
Envoy 318, connect San Francisco Tower, 120.5.
Over to San Francisco Tower, 120.5, Envoy 318. We'll see you. San Francisco Tower, Envoy 318, ILS 29 right.
Envoy 318, San Francisco Tower, runway 28 right, clear to land, and the wind is calm.
28 right, clear to land, Envoy 318. All right, so we are on the ILS 28 right. Of course, the side step that I was talking about, we could have easily went 28 left. You can see the glide slope is captured here. And we are on to our final destination into the San Francisco area. All right, folks, landing gear is coming down. Monitor this knob here as I push it. All right, gear is down, or in transit. We're going to get more drag on the aircraft. Let's make sure we get 3 green. And we have 3 green, and let's go full flaps. And full flaps is selected, and full flaps will be indicated now. Now we pick our speed up to 130. Okay, folks, let's do our final landing checks. Landing gear is set. The missed altitude approach is 3,000 on this, and we'll have that situated. And we've got all of our landing lights on. We've got our landing lights, 3 green, flaps down, flaps indicating runway in sight, and the clearance has been received from the tower, folks. All right, with no further ado, let's take the autopilot off.
Autopilot.
And let's bring her in. We're a little bit above approach speed. Our approach profile looks really good. So here we go. The wind is very calm. I'm not really doing anything to keep the aircraft on this profile. Just managing it with speed.
Southwest 20 airborne.
Roger.
All right, I'm bleeding that speed down now to really hit that target of 130 for our approach speed. And let me nose up slightly. Getting a little chop. Getting a little wind right here, as you guys can see. It's bouncing around.
280, 8,500 VFC.
Solos 280, Albuquerque departure, radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 210.
All right, here we go.
Southwest 20.
We got a pretty good speed we're maintaining.
1,000.
All right, 1,000 to go. It's a little bumpy over this water, that's for sure. All right, we're a little low, so we'll leave the nose here. Definitely fell a little bit below our V approach. Slightly bumpy. No worries there. Alright, we're back on the glide path there.
Flying 980 Alpha November, descend and maintain 16,000. Let me know when you reach 16,000.
There we go. We're right back on the glide path. Speed's a little low. That's okay. I'm just filling the aircraft out here because the winds are calm. Alright, nice descent profile here. Approach profile into the San Francisco area. Those winds have calmed down. You can see the aircraft has stopped kind of bouncing around. Now the one thing is here to have a nice landing, we cannot have it too slow or it'll thunk right onto the ground.
One 100. 50. 10.
10. Alright, we got another butter landing. Reversers are out, folks. We are bleeding speed. And we'll go for the next one, obviously. Alright, reverse free. And we got some wheel brakes on. Alright. We can go ahead and make our turn here. Alright, let's try to see what taxiway we're on here. Gotta look left so we don't miss the sign. Alright, let's clean up the aircraft. Alright, I still haven't seen a sign. Looks like we're on Delta. Alright, let's go ahead and make sure the aircraft's cleaned up. San Francisco Tower, Envoy 318 on Delta, holding short to runway 28 left. Let's leave the landing lights on now.
Envoy 318, cross runway 28 left on Delta. Taxi to the terminal via Delta and Alpha, monitor ground, we'll see you.
Okay, cross 28 left on Delta, taxi the ramp, Delta Alpha to the ramp, monitor ground after crossing 28 left. Thanks for all your help. Happy New Year, Envoy 318. We'll see you next time. Alright. Alright, mouthful. Pretty nice guy. So we'll leave this on until we have to cross. But essentially I want to get the APU on right now, so that we can have continuous power once we get over there. Okay, flaps are cleaned up, spoiler is cleaned up, and then we can have a nice actual replay. Want to welcome everybody into the San Francisco area. Appreciate it. Thanks for staying on, Chief Sim Pilot. We'll see you next time. I'll catch your stream. As always, thanks for the support. We were able to nail 2 butter landings today, which gives me great joy. And we can see here San Francisco is a pretty big area. Alright, now that we have crossed the runway, we can go up and get strobe off as well as landing lights. Now that we're legit.
Southwest 280, contact Albuquerque Center 134.6.
And our gate is over here.
34.6 Southwest 3.
Not bad at all.
Boeing 980 Alpha November, clear to the Colorado Springs Airport via direct Fisher, and then direct.
Now one thing that we need to do here is also monitor ground.
Boeing 980 Alpha November, Cadet Springs approach 124.0.
Alright.
So those 280 Albuquerque Center, climb maintain for level 350.
Albuquerque approach number 980 Alpha number 16,000.
Here's our gate 63.
Number 980 Alpha November Springs approach, Springs altimeter 3027, information whiskey current.
And again, an appropriate gate simply because this aircraft doesn't even need a gate. They will be disembarking from the ground and walking into the terminal.
request ILS 35.
Then we will watch the replay.
Field south right now. Can you take the south runway?
We're going to stop right here with the CRJ
yes, let's go 17
location.
West, ILS November 980 Alpha number.
9 Alpha number, Roger.
All right, parking brake is set. Let's go ahead and get it off to standby. And now we can go ahead and turn our comms off. And we can actually just go ahead and disconnect from PilotEdge since we're going to be doing our replays. And we'll go ahead and disconnect. Otherwise, when we do a replay, they're going to keep seeing us. All right, parking brake is on. And let's go ahead and turn the packs off, of course, and we're going to get this replay going. All right, turn the APU bleed on, of course. And make sure the red beacon is off. And we'll make sure the taxi light is off. Fuel pumps will be off, of course. And we'll turn the windshield heat off. We'll turn the fuel pumps off. Boom. And we are doing good. Now the folks can get on and off the aircraft. Oh my goodness, we made it, folks. 2 butter landings. I can't believe it. You know, couldn't have done it without you guys. Let's go ahead and watch the replay. Let's see how we roll with this replay. Again, welcome into San Francisco. 2 in a row. Thanks, Chief Sim Pilot, for the motivation on the landings. Let's go out now and see exactly how we did. In the spirit of that, I'll be right back so we can get the actual replay set up. So you'll still hear me, but you won't see me. You won't see me. All right. Let's toggle that replay mode now. And see how we did. We floated it slightly. All right. It's all set up. We got the tower view here. And let's bring you guys back in, of course. Booyah. Let's go ahead and get a play going here. Alright, and as you can see here, this was us on approach coming over the harbor area into San Francisco for runway 28 right. And you can see the aircraft. We landed full flaps. And we didn't really need to. We had a lot of runway, but I'm glad I did because this aircraft, it does take a little bit for it to get slowed down. Even with the spoilers full out, it doesn't have an auto braking system. So essentially you're using reverse thrusters and you're also using your spoilers until you get to a certain speed, then you can use the wheel brake. So that's what we did. We had a nice profile coming down, not too shabby. And we just floated her a little bit so that we could make sure we had that butter landing. And we're just going to kiss the deck. And we floated her nice and easy, nice and easy. And until we just kissed that deck, guys. Held that nose up for a hot second, got her out. You can see the reversed thrusters on. We're going to do a wing view as well. We'll do the view by wife stuff. We did land centerline. Look at that, folks. We did land centerline. I'm very proud and happy about this landing with this aircraft. It handles very nicely. It was a little rocky on the way in. Right before we got to about, let's say, 4 or 5 nautical miles out from touching down. Let's stop that now. Let's go back to my wife's favorite view so we can go ahead and take a look at that. And then we're going to do what we do always, ride in with some beats and call it a day. Again, it's going to be loud right now. Sorry about that. Nice little flare. Kiss the ground. Nice. Pretty much center line right there, folks. All right. Let's run it back one more time. Let's run it back one more time and let's see what the passengers saw in the old rusty dusty window back here. All right. And we're going to ride out. Alright folks, welcome back in to San Francisco. This was Envoy Airlines Flight 318 from Las Vegas. Full service here to San Francisco with one stop in Fresno. We made the turnaround, we buttered it twice, we bounced on our heads. You know how I like to do it. Now sit and enjoy us taxiing into the gate. Thank you everyone for the support, for watching the flight. I had a great time flying with you guys on board. Great chat. Thanks for being interactive. We're going to do it again hopefully soon. Again, I'm super busy with work, but I'm not forgetting about you guys, because guess what? I can't forget about my hobby. I love doing this stuff. God bless everyone. Treat each other kindly. Treat each other more kindly than you did the day before. Listen, plan for your lives. Hope for the best, but plan for the worst. Keep a positive attitude, stay motivated, and no matter what, if you check in here, I'm going to be motivating you, because I am Dre Sanchez, the Motivated Sim Pilot, getting my energy from you, getting my energy from my environment. Thanks a lot. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Who knows, I could stream tomorrow or a couple days from now. I don't know. I'll let you know. With that said, you guys go ahead and taxi in, bounce to the beats, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining the channel. Thanks for staying on board. One love. Thank you everybody for joining.